Ooh, what is happening, guys? How's everybody doing, huh? Good, good. God, this thing. Turn it. Don't fall, please. Yeah, see? I don't know why. Okay, there we go. That's good. All right, what's happening, guys? I'm here. Sorry, I'm a little late. What's this? Yeah, what's my excuse? My excuse was just setting everything up, and then I was like, oh, I don't have my beer. I don't have my beer, which I'm drinking Blue Moon tonight. Inspired by Mr. Tom Holkenborg last night, Mr. Junkee XL. This is what he was drinking, right? He was drinking Blue Moon, he said, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some Blue Moon tonight. Why not? Why the fuck not? So that's what I'm drinking, guys. Appreciate you guys clicking in. Of course, it's the fan stream, the Patreon fan stream that I like to do once a month. Talk to some of the patrons out there, get some fan interaction and everything like that. It's always good, and that's always a lot of fun, of course. So, anyways, hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself. Hey, what's up, Mr. King? Haven't seen you in a bit. How you doing, bud? Still doing those great card tricks, man. Tell you what, I when I see your videos, I get jealous that I didn't, because I wanted, like when I was a kid, man, I wanted to like dive into that. Still recovering. I know. I'm still recovering from the Vodka stream. 100% still recovering from the Vodka stream. It's great. Last night was such a weird, and then today I started like going through the whole thing and trying to just clip out certain things, like important things that Tom said last night. As you can see, like I posted two about the themes, about the character themes. I have a Batman theme video, and then of course the other themes as well when he talked about those, and then played those clips. I mean, and it's just funny like to revisit it, slightly sober, because it gets a little fuzzy at the end, and then you go like, wait, what happened last night? And beloved motherfuckers. I know. Steven, do you have the timestamp when he said that? Does anybody have the timestamp of when he said beloved motherfuckers? I meant to I asked some people. Hold on. I need to find that. I definitely need to find that. There you go. I need to find that. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, okay. I'm going to clip that out. I meant to check that. Somebody actually found it for me. It was at 1 hour and 53 minutes. So I need to clip that out. That needs to be like a little video that needs to be shown. That's for sure. So, yeah. That was definitely awesome when he called us his beloved motherfuckers, man. I mean, geez, man, it was just such an awesome stream. He was such a delight. Because I knew he was going to be cool, just because you've seen videos with him. He's always a very outgoing, funny dude. But you just never know how cool, it's like, okay, is he going to hold back? And then, it's funny too, because even before the stream, I caught wind that, he might actually drop some shit, like some music for you. And I was like, okay, cool. Is that what he said? Here we go. Okay, so hold on. Looks like somebody actually got it. Let's see here. Hold on a sec. It's just such a beautiful moment. Just a beautiful moment. Thank you, Alex Lobo. All right, so here's where he where he called us beloved motherfuckers here. I gotta do this. I gotta show this real quick. So here we go. Oh, forgot to turn on my background. My bad. Boop. There it is. All right. So here it is right here. Thank you, Alex. So that's where he said it right here.
So because of the power of the fans, which means you motherfuckers.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. I thought he said beloved, though. Where's the beloved? Then he probably said it in a different spot, I'm guessing, right? Is that what happened? So, yeah, Junkee was great. Yeah. Vodka, yeah. I thought he said beloved, though. Where's the beloved part, though? Anyways, all right. So, but yeah, last night was just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Loved every bit of it. Whoop. Thank you, Mike G. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Mike G, appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I know. Could he said beloved motherfuckers somewhere. He said it when he tried to sign off. Is that what it was? Okay, so when he tried to sign off. So that's when, okay, so the first time he said, you motherfuckers. And then I guess when he was trying to sign, and it was funny too, because when it was funny because I look and I'm like, wow, man, I had an email, and sure enough, it was this PR people going like, hey, Tom can talk a lot. Can we wrap it up? It's funny. It's like his people were like, hey, he's got something else he has to do. He was supposed to give you guys 10 more minutes. We're going on half hour plus. It was great, but I absolutely love that. Okay, so it's 2:22. Thank you, Steven. 2:22. That'll be easy to remember. We'll clip it out. But it was just funny how his people, his reps were like, they were giving me the, hey, he needs to stop. He won't stop unless you tell him. And I think he was probably getting blown up too. And it was just hilarious because when I read that after the stream, and I even told Snyder that. I'm like, oh, dude, he was like, his like fucking people like emailed me because he wouldn't stop. But that just shows you, that made me feel happy, and it should make everybody feel happy because he was having fun. He was having a lot of fun. I mean, obviously he was having a shit ton of fun because when he played the music, it was just like, yeah, sparks up another cigarette, drinking his beer. He's just, yeah, this is fucking art right here. Just doing that, just enjoying himself, man, just really enjoying himself. And yeah, hopefully we can get him back. I mean, obviously, he's got, when it comes to Godzilla versus Kong, that's coming out like a week after Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I'm hoping, I really want like Snyder and him to be on one stream. That would be phenomenal. And I'm hoping I can get them both together on a Vodka stream, pre Army of the Dead, like the week of or 2 weeks of or something like that. I've already put that idea out there, and you know what? And like I said, Snyder wanted to stop by. When I told him that Junkee was interested, Snyder was interested. But I mentioned now, it's his birthday weekend. Obviously, he had to. He's celebrating, and hopefully, he's having a good time right now. But yeah, it's just. Oh, and Ben, and Ben, yeah, that would be interesting. The only thing is, though, it's like if Ben were to show up, or Ben Affleck, we probably would all have to be drinking water. That's the thing. When it comes to, if I were ever to interview Ben Affleck, it wouldn't be a Vodka stream setting because you got to respect the man and the fact that you got to just like, it would be like a whole separate interview, just like, hey, cool, we're not, nothing like that. So Dave, get Sasha Kaye. You know what, maybe I could get her get her on there, maybe that's, or smoke. But just smoke cigarettes. We all just smoke cigarettes. The dream would be to get Jason Momoa, right? Jason Momoa, that would be like a Guinness stream right there. A total Guinness stream. I would love to get Jason Momoa, and I don't know. Like I said, we're trying our best. Cigarette stream. We even joked. I was like, oh man, I wanted to have a cigarette with Junkee. I have a pack in my drawer in there that every now and again, why not? Just if I'm feeling in the mood, all of a sudden like. I feel like I kind of wish I just fucking got one and but then I would have, it would have been a little weird. Like, oh yeah, I'm smoking a cigarette with you. Joe Ming in the yellow. Oh man, wouldn't that be something too, man? Like I said, I'm trying to work some shit out. We'll see what happens. Cigar stream. There you go. Cigar stream. There you go. That'd be pretty sweet. But what's funny is like my smoke detectors are so fucking sensitive. My smoke detector right here that is directly on the opposite wall of my bathroom, it'll start beeping because of the steam coming out of my shower. Like I'll take a shower and then I'll open the door and of course the steam's coming out. All of a sudden it starts chirping because of the steam. That's how sensitive this shit is, man. So that's the thing. I would probably have to like disconnect that thing if I was ever going to do like a cigar. Let's smoke cigars. Oh man. See, now you got me. You guys got me thinking. But I don't know. Like we still got a little bit, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple of vodka streams. Expect some awesomeness. That's for damn sure. So it's gonna be good stuff. And by the way, guys, no Sunday morning hangover stream is gonna happen. It's gonna be happening tomorrow. Well, usually when I have one of these streams, I don't have a Sunday morning stream, and well, also too, I'm having breakfast with my dad, so it's gonna be a family day, one of those family Sundays that I'm gonna be having. So don't expect a stream tomorrow. So, it's all good. It happens. The Sunday morning streams are not like, consistent. They're definitely not consistent. All right. Do I have my tab? All right. Let me start throwing out that link to the patrons out there. All right. Here we go. That link. Yeah. So I have a feeling family Sunday with it. Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, I mean, yeah, it's just one of those, like when my dad, once a month, or like, yeah, pretty much once a month, when my dad, when he works nights, he's available because he lives in Vegas, and he's a helicopter pilot. And he does, the transporting of like, patients, or like if somebody, kind of not really a search and rescue, but maybe like more of the rescue type. Basically what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did in San Andreas, that's what my dad does. Of course, anytime there's a helicopter scene in a movie, he'll like rip it apart, and he rips, of course, everything apart. It's pretty funny. But when he's working on weekends, because it's kind of like one of those like a week on, week off, week on kind of thing. And then there's times where he's working nights. So then he's like, hey, let's get some breakfast. And so that's pretty much what the dealio is. So like pretty much every, probably about every 3 weeks we get together. So, all right, here we go. Fan stream link. Oop. And there we go. All right. So posting it right now. Boop. All right. There you go. And we'll try to hopefully, keep it as organized as possible. I know sometimes it gets a little crazy in here. But I'm just like, we'll just have some fun, talk to the fans a little bit. So when are you doing the interview with Zach? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, yeah. I don't know exactly when. We're still working that out. Don't worry. I mean, like I said, he wanted to drop by last night, but sadly he didn't do it. Okay. So, all right. We got the first patron in here. Mr. Barker, what is up, sir?
Mr. Dave, how's it going? How's
good.
it going, man?
I'm going pretty good. How you doing?
Can't complain. Like I said in the chat, man, I'm going to see my dad tomorrow too.
So there you go. There you go. I love the fact that you have like a totally legit setup. I love that.
I'm really grateful for my setup. It's actually, I actually should not have this microphone. I actually got it by a very small happenstance when I had a roommate, and he came across a really sweet deal for 3 Shure SMB7s. So got mine $100 cheaper than retail price.
Nice score, man. I know it's always like, when I got this microphone, I was like, I had the blue, like snow, what is it? The snowball. I almost said blue ball. Yeah. I'm like, blue ball, that's not right. Even though somebody should market that. And then I was like, I want something different, because I had that one for a bit. And then this one, I don't know. This one just, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. All right. So we also got Mr. William from the Sci-Fi Center. What's up, sir? And then we got Carrie. How you doing?
From his legit setup to my illegitimate one. Sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, man.
You got the whole league behind you, though. I like that.
Exactly. As long as you got you got the background. We got Carrie with the silver Superman S right there wearing. You alive, Carrie? I don't know if he could hear us yet.
Frozen? He's frozen.
Yeah. He's not frozen. I think he's. Oh no, maybe he is frozen. Yeah. No, he's not.
Yeah, he blinked. He blinked. I saw him. Yeah,
I think he's okay.
I don't know, but I don't know if he sees us or he doesn't hear the audio. I don't know. Carrie, are you there? Uh-oh.
So write something on a paper and say we can't hear you.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, I think he's having some technical. It's oh, here we go. I can't hear anything. Okay, so Carrie just messaged in the private chat. Oh yeah, we can't hear you either. Your microphone's not working. So, all right. Well, we'll hopefully figure that out, Carrie. Because Carrie, I love talking to Carrie too.
You know what?
What?
There we go.
Go ahead.
There you go. You're good. You hear us?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, you're alive. I know. It's like funny. We were like, "Hey, Carrie, you there? Carrie, hello." So, thank you for joining, Carrie.
Of course. Thanks for having us, as always.
No problem, man.
These are fun.
Yeah, these are fun. But how you guys doing? What are you drinking tonight, Carrie?
I have it's called Whitkissed White, so it's from Odell Brewing Company in Colorado, out of Fort Collins, and it's like a Belgian white ale, but with like grapefruit sort of flavoring.
Nice. A little sweetness. What about you, Philip? What are you drinking?
So I ran out and got some Mike's Hard lemonade because I'm really not much of a drinker. I don't drink too much, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drink tonight because I kind of feel like it.
I remember you messaged on the Patreon page. You were like, "Yeah, I feel like drinking tonight." It's like, "Yeah, man, come on, let's have a drink. Let's relax a little bit." And of course, Mr. William, what do you got? Pepsi or something?
I'm gonna bring it down to the ghetto level. And
you got the.
I don't drink liquor.
Yeah, no, you don't drink. I get it. Okay, and then watch it, guys. We got. Yeah, watch yourselves. We got Mr. Slade Wilson. He's showing up right now. Look at this guy. Wow.
How are we all doing?
We're doing pretty good. I love your masks. I love that mask, dude.
Our mask is rad.
Hey, we even got
the dark side shirt. Look at you.
Yeah, dude.
That's sauce. Yeah. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Neil.
So
he goes full. He goes full Slade, man.
There's never a time that I don't go full.
and the fact that you actually can pull off a Slade with your look too, with your hair and your facial hair, dude. Yeah, I mean, it all just worked out.
If he's not really missing an eye, it's not legit. So
I know, yeah.
Oh,
you gotta remove your eyeball. Yeah, you gotta.
My left eye was
if you don't have,
if
you don't have superhuman strength either, too. Yeah, he's got the Jim Beam going.
We're gonna take a little shot with all this fire that's been going on.
There it is.
Yeah, Jesus, guys. I mean, nothing but like straight up celebration going on.
Seriously, man. Yeah, I know. Last night was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. I know you guys all like checked it out, but man, I mean, it was like I woke up this morning going like, "What the fuck did that really happen last night?" He's such a. I mean, it was just. I mean, that was one for the books. Probably one of the best. I mean, obviously Snyder when he was on, that was great both times. But it would have been like the icing on the cake, would have been the cherry on top if Snyder could have made it. And I was like trying to make it happen, but of course, birthday weekend. Couldn't happen, but maybe eventually it will get there. And we got Mr. Bradley showing up too. Hey, there's a guys. Buddy.
Cheers.
How you doing?
Cheers.
Cheers. What are you drinking?
Got some vodka.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
Appropriate.
Cheers, guys.
Appropriate.
Yeah, take that shot, Neil.
Okay, that kid does not look old enough to be drinking.
I know. It's just wait. You're old enough, right? Of course he is.
Got facial hair, of course.
Yeah, he's fine, right? You're
Damn
good.
Stream's gonna get raided by the ATF, man.
I know, right? I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
And then tonight I'll be having a golden monkey.
Golden monkey, interesting.
Yes.
Never heard of that.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Beer mug, and we're gonna get this started.
At least you got that. You got that frosted beer mug. That's good.
Oh,
it's definitely good. Philip, I forgot where are you located again?
Sacramento, California.
That's right.
6 hours north of you, I think.
Yeah, it's about that. And it might be maybe a little bit longer. It might be. Yeah, I don't know. It's a long trip, that's for sure up there. I have never really actually been to Sacramento. Been to San Francisco, Oakland, all that, but I don't think I've actually.
That way.
Yeah, I've been like up north, but I've never like stayed in Sacramento, but I've been up in like San Francisco area. It's beautiful, expensive up there. Well, in San Francisco it is, at least. I don't know about Sacramento. Yeah.
I got family in San Jose, so pretty close to San Francisco. So I used to go down there pretty frequently since the pandemic. Haven't been down there at all.
I know. Yeah, the last time I went up there was probably about 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. visit some family for like about 4 days or something, and it was fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. It's different than down here, that's for damn sure. But I don't know, California, man. Ugh.
Oh man, tell me about it.
I know. I'm like, William knows. I'm like itching to just get where he's at.
And I'm itching to get where you're at. It's like we're trying to switch.
You want to come to California?
Yeah, I'm from California. I grew up there. That's what my goal is to retire there.
Oh, there you go. I mean, it's a nice place to retire.
You do not want to retire.
Vegas is where I live. Vegas is where I live. Southern California is my home.
Okay, I mean, I understand that. I remember we talked about that too when I visited the Sci-Fi Center. But at the same time, I'm like, don't retire here, because the reason why my dad retired in Vegas is because California would have totally demolished his retirement. Nevada doesn't touch his retirement, so he retired there. I mean, he still works in California, but he lived there, and like Nevada doesn't touch his retirement, but California would have fucking taxed the shit out of it.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's a give and take relationship, because
I guess
been here since '93. It takes that long to get a road fixed. It takes that long to hire some teachers. It takes that long. All the other stuff, you guys think of Vegas and you got the Strip. You don't realize that the post-apocalyptic situation that exists around that, because it's a state that doesn't have a lot of tax revenue. The only guys that get taxed are guys like me own businesses. But everything else you need, and I know taxes suck, but I don't want to have a kid and send them to a school with 80 people in it and a poorly paid teacher. It's just tough. I'll take the taxes over some of the stuff we don't have here, man. It's a modern city without a light rail or a train. I mean, all the money to be made here and all the edges of town, and we got that little monorail that goes 18 feet. That's
18 feet.
So
they were trying to build something here, and they barely. I mean, they poured like all this kind of money in it, and like it barely went anywhere. It's like nothing.
Yeah, because the Nevada side didn't want to pay to meet the California side.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So why we don't want to connect to the 5th largest economy in the world? Wow, that doesn't sound, doesn't make sense to me. But
it sounds like this is one of those like circumstances where it's like where you live, everybody wants to like get out where they live. I want to get out of California. I mean, we want to do a switcheroo. It seems like Philip wants to get out of where he's at too, almost. And it's just like, yeah, it's I guess wherever. And a lot of people even go like, "Man, you live in Vegas, how can you hate it?"
So I moved from the Bay Area, but I prefer to get to Southern California if I can. I've lived down there for like 8 years, like for college and grad school and everything, and enjoy. Like Orange County area would be my preferred,
Yeah, Orange County's pretty nice. Yeah, they keep their shit up. Like the Orange, for some reason, like Orange County is like when they look at all the other counties, like LA County and San Bernardino County. They look at all the other counties like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We're just gonna do our own thing. We're not gonna follow suit. Well, like when it came to the pandemic, they were like, no. When like Governor Newsom was like lockdown, they were all just doing that. Orange County was like, we're fine. We're good. Now we're gonna open shit up. We're gonna keep it going. It's like, that's what I kept hearing.
Because they're on 90 already. They already got it in the grave.
That could be it.
What's gonna hurt them?
Yeah, they're fine. But Bradley, where are you located again?
Oh, I'm in Sacramento.
What?
There you go. 2 Sacramento people right there. See, there you go.
You're kidding.
I was in Orangevale for a while and Citrus Heights. I've been all around Sacramento my whole life, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There it is. And Neil, where are you at again?
I'm in Dirty Jersey.
That's right. You're in Jersey. Yeah, he's the East Coast guy right over here. And then I know, yeah. And Carrie, you're in Colorado, right?
I'm in Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So what did you guys think of well, first off, what did you think of last night? Junkee XL, all that stuff. Good times. What did you think of those themes, man? Those themes that came out.
One more step for the anticipation, man. Can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, I just love the fact. I mean, I heard like from my person that helps me out, I guess you could say my rep kind of person. Well, that helps me out trying to get these connections and stuff. He was like, hey, there's a chance you might get like a song tonight or something like that. And I'm like, I'm counting on it. I was hoping for that. And then, you know, sure enough, he did. And I just love the fact that how he did it too. And, you know, putting out those 2 clips of those 2 songs tonight. I just love how, I mean, it's just the fact that he's just like, he puts it on, puts a cigarette in his mouth, he's sipping his beer, and he's just like, yeah, motherfuckers, that's my shit right there. I mean, it was so just, I mean, it was so cool. It was so awesome. And that Batman theme and how he explained it too, by saying like, hey, you know, like it's a different Batman theme. Obviously he's got that tortured past, but in this version, and I was going to bring that up too, is like, yeah, in Justice League now, you know, in BVS, that was Batman at his lowest, you know, and now he's like trying to like, let me get back up to where I am. So I can understand that the theme has to follow that too. It's not going to be like this tortured theme. It's going to be like more like a little bit more inspired.
Like a rebuild.
Dun, 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 dun. That like, just like, I want to, you know, I'm going to kill Superman. You know, obviously when Bruce looks up at and he sees him going and you know, the eyes and you hear that dun, 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 dun. It's just like, I know.
It's like Robert Meyer Burnett said. This movie is heavy metal. This movie, this entire Snyderverse is heavy metal. Everything else is pop.
Yeah.
Everything else is hair band. This is Metallica, and everything else is like
Metallica.
Yeah.
Maybe late 80s Poison or something like that. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing
in
glam.
the boys' room. Yeah.
There's nothing glam about this entire run that he's been on, and the music fits it. Even Hans Zimmer. You listen to Hans Zimmer, any of the stuff that he's done, and you listen to the stuff that he does for Snyder's movie. It's like it's all becoming like a metal atmosphere in it, and it's kind of cool. So like I said, I love hearing it. Everything we heard last night was consistent with the entire theme. It just fits what he's doing.
It really does. All right, we got Mr. Eric M. Blake. What's up, sir?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
By the way, is it just me or do I no longer have a lag?
No, you don't. I'm actually impressed. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, because yesterday I just moved into my new apartment, and you know, and with the router that I already had, there was already some issues, and then finally I'm like, screw it, I'm getting an upgrade. So I got the upgrade, and here I am.
Cheers, sir. Thank God.
There you go.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome, man. How you doing? What are you drinking, by the way? Water?
Well,
is it vodka?
Wrong night.
Goes the mind.
What? He's already toasted. He's already gone.
He's feeling good.
That's water. It's water.
Yeah, I was like, Eric, I don't think you're a drinker either, man. It's fine. It's fine.
I kind of am, but like so far, like if I were to bring on an actual full-on drink, it would be wine or something like that. I mean, I might one day go balls to the wall and just bring some scotch because
there you go.
Glass, so I might as well. But you know, hope springs eternal.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, whatever works, you know. But yeah, there's nothing. Hey, wine's great too. But yeah, when it comes to Junkee, like, and then saying the themes, and then even like when he played the second theme, which was like a slower version of the full-on Justice League stream or cool. Justice League theme, it was just like, oh man, I mean, it was like it is like an anthem.
Yeah, I like watching Scott, like him acting as if he was like conducting an orchestra or playing a violin or something like that.
Was everyone.
To be fair, that's exactly what I would do. That's exactly what I did when I heard it. Yeah. I mean, it was funny when I was editing the clips and I was watching and I started looking at everybody, you know, listening to it. And I mean, there was, you know, I think at first I was kind of like, you know, I had my hands up and just kind of listening to it. And the second one, I had my head down listening to it. And then everybody else just, you know, listening to it. It's just like, But Scott probably had the best reaction when he was just like, he was just orchestrating. I love it. Yeah.
It was pretty
By the way, like listening to that slower version really stuck something into my head. Now, for those of you who don't remember, like, let me hum another piece to you.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Is that familiar to any of you?
Is that Star Wars at the end of Star Wars?
No, it's not.
Okay.
That piece, that was Danny Elfman's theme for Justice League. We hear it at the very beginning when we see the DC logos, and then we hear it again like when Clark and Bruce, like Lois and Martha are at the Kent farmhouse. We hear that piece. Now, I will say for how bland Elfman's score was, that melody in and of itself never struck me as bad. I mean, I have found myself humming it a few times over the years, but listening to that version that Junkee played last night, Junkee XL played last night, I couldn't help thinking, did Danny Elfman steal his theme and then basically simplified it and modify it for him, for his style?
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, because
there are so many.
Because Danny Elfman's got a lot of good stuff.
He said that he redid like pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Came
it's like
on per week.
Yeah, maybe he did, but it's just that there's so many parallels there. Like with if any of us, like Dave, you said you were going to do a stream where you're going to be watching Justice League again.
Oh,
so
God. That's coming.
I would highly recommend those two moments that I mentioned during the DC logo and during during the sequence where it pans over to the Kent farmhouse and then there's Clark and Bruce and so on. Listen to that theme.
Okay.
And
I mean,
then,
And when it comes to the themes, I don't hate his.
Yeah,
it's not like full on hate. You know,
it's just not as good as it could have been.
It doesn't belong there. That's
it just
problem.
doesn't belong.
It
felt.
I mean, it is worth noting because remember, I think Elfman said it was worth noting that Elfman didn't really have any time to do a full-on score. Like he was just basically Whedon just threw him the script and the storyboards or whatever, and then he just had to come up with some stuff, which may be a reason that that sounded so bland. But his Flash theme isn't bad, and that main theme isn't bad. It just isn't as good as it could.
It's just that when you go from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman to Justice League, it just doesn't line up at all. It doesn't feel like a progression or echoing anything. Like there's the one scene where they go into the the scout ship where it plays a tiny snippet of the Man of Steel music, but that's it. And then they quickly revert back to the John Williams theme.
I never at all understood why Danny Elfman had the balls to say there's only one Batman theme.
I know,
especially after Hans Zimmer's trilogy of The Dark Knight.
Exactly.
Dude, what?
Hans Zimmer's So Elfman was there's only one Batman theme. My Batman
there
theme.
is.
And Hans Zimmer was hold my schnapps.
Yeah, Zimmer should just be how many Batman movies did you get to score? I got 3. How many of you got, Danny?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the Elfman Batmans, I mean, it's recognizable, it's iconic. Same with the John Williams one, but it's just like when we were discussing with Junkee last night, it's it fit for that time. Now it's you have to fit it with a different time, and I can't wait to hear I can't wait to. I mean, just going back and editing the clips was when he talked about the Wonder Woman theme and how now we're getting a pure Wonder Woman Junkee XL theme. Okay, the one that we got, which is fucking perfect, and it fit and the entrance of her in BBS, that was a combination of Junkee and Hans Zimmer. He said he took it to his own level of he had the riff is going to be different. It's going to be a little bit different. He has just a different take on it, 100% him. And I'm kind of curious of where that goes. It's going to be probably familiar, but there's going to be a little more, I guess you could say, there's probably going to be a little more metal to it because it's Junkee. Yeah. What are you saying, Bradley? What do you think?
I think it'll for sure be more metal for sure.
Yeah.
It'll
the whole movie.
Yeah,
I mean, Junkee XL was the one who gave us that whole thing for in a Mad Max Fury Road. The dude, the Doof Warrior, that dude who's just rocking out for the rest of the squad. I remember when I first saw that in the theater, and I was just.
Pretty much all of us.
Are you striking
out? God, really?
Oh my gosh!
And then
Junkee he
I
seems
said,
like
I thought he was striking out.
Yeah, all right.
It seems like he's able to like go from the more metal, hard rocking kind of style to, but also like the symphony style, and like somehow meld the two and transition back and forth between them. And like, I don't think there's many composers like who can do that. Like Hans is one of them for sure.
Hans can, Hans can.
Like Elfman, no.
But like, yeah, Elfman, you can always tell an Elfman score. But I mean, like I said, it's not. I mean, I watched Dick Tracy not too long ago, and that's an Elfman, score, and it's fucking great. But I mean, but you could tell. It's like, yeah, that is like, Elfman, and I love it. I love it when composers can go, hey, I'm going to try something different. That's why I brought up to Junkee, because I even wrote it down. I'm like, because like the fact that if you listen to that Mission Impossible 2 score that Hans Zimmer did, it is a step away from what he usually does. It's distinct. It's different. If you go back and listen to some of that, there's a lot of like different things that he was trying with that. And I know that's the weakest of the Mission Impossible like movies, but still, I mean, he was trying to like do something different, and it's John Woo, and it was just like, that's why I actually respect Mission Impossible 2, because it's the redheaded stepchild of the whole fucking franchise, because it is so off the cuff.
I will say, like, I actually, in a way, I respect Mission Impossible 2 a bit better than I do the first one, mainly because the first one just spat in the face of the fans of the series by making Jim the bad guy.
I know a lot of people hated that. I mean, I still love it, but yeah, I can understand the fact.
Movie, the movie itself, I love, but that twist was disgusting. Like, but aside from that, it's perfect.
Yeah, hey, I sat in the movie theater. In the movie theater where nobody knew who the hell that guy was. Yeah. Right? You got to realize the demographic that was going to see a Tom Cruise movie in 1996 does not know that. I'm 46 years old. That show was had been in reruns for like 10 years before I was even born. So most of the people who went to see that did not know who that guy was. They knew the basic theme and the same song. That's it.
Here. Like I saw that movie before I was even familiar with the characters of the original series. But then when I heard about what happened to the characters of the original series and what that meant to the movie, I was like, that was not cool. That was not cool.
I think eventually, like, they'll get to a point where when Tom Cruise goes, okay, I can't do this shit anymore. Who knows when that's going to be? Who knows when that's going to be?
Someone's going to have to tell him.
Yeah, I know. Like,
he's going to space. He's going to outer space.
I know. That's where he's
going to outer space. Well, which, all right, he's going to outer space. And look, I remember, like, from the moment I heard that the whole plan for the next 2 Mission Impossible films was to film them back to back. Now, obviously, that has changed because COVID. But with that being the original plan for Chris McQuarrie and Tom Cruise, they're going to do it right there. That really came across to me as a 2-part finale. Now,
yeah, I think you're right.
It might be. I actually remember when he spoke to me about that, Chris McQuarrie. It was a really enlightening, fun conversation.
Oh wow! Look at you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop back on a ball.
No, that's awesome.
I don't try and shotgun it because we talked about a couple of things that I told him I would not talk about. So, but yeah, he's a really nice guy. Chris McQuarrie is a really, really pleasant dude. He's got Tom Cruise back. I can't wait to see Mission Impossible 7 and 8. And honestly, I have a lot more respect for those movies after talking to him. He's a really cool dude. Yeah.
Wow.
It was just one conversation. It was a couple years ago, but yeah, it was a really cool conversation. He was a really nice guy.
So you think that it's going to be the end, or I didn't catch that, or is it going to be the end, or do you think there's going to be more?
I mean, look, Tom Cruise is going to do what Tom Cruise does best. He's going to space now. If 7 and 8 leave it open to do, a 9, maybe a 10, that's up to whatever damage Tom Cruise occurs over the next couple of years.
He's looking at Diesel going like, I got you, bitch.
I mean, at the very least, I feel like they did it. They are going to do it so that the next one will come across as it would be a satisfying conclusion if no other movies were made, mainly because I feel like now Tom Cruise is going to focus on these other fillers, like the space film, and so on. Who knows? Maybe.
I think what will happen with the franchise is, if it ends, then it'll get to the point where like, let's just do a revamped series, and let's do a full-on series on a streaming on Paramount Plus or something like that in a couple of years. Who knows? And they'll keep it legit where Mr. Phelps is not a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of amused at, of all the names Paramount took for its streaming service, it was Paramount Plus. I was like, okay, you couldn't have, you didn't think about
that was after they absorbed CBS All Access too, right?
Yeah. I think they did, right? Yeah, they absorbed. Yeah. I mean, there was
what they should have called it? Paramount All Access or Paramount Platinum, Paramount Premium.
I know everybody's doing plus. It's like, come on, let's get
except HBO Max.
Yeah, HBO Max.
HBO was like, hey, we're gonna put Max in our shit. Now I'm like, yeah,
right. HBO Max needs to change its name.
You think so?
It needs to change its name. One of the biggest problems that HBO Max has is why it's not where it should be subscription wise is because there's too much confusion between the HBO brand. You have HBO Go, you have HBO everything else, and what they should have done is they should have named it Warner Max, because Warner has been around for 100 years. Even though HBO is a good brand name, a lot of people who you don't even know if you have it. You don't know if you have access to it. I know a lot of people who have HBO Go, who have HBO, have access to HBO Max, but they don't know, and that affects their numbers.
I like that.
Yet, despite all of that, Wonder Woman 1984 had a record opening that dominated over Soul.
You can't run a company on high spots. You got to have consistency in brand name. High spots get people fired. High spots because then you have your low spots. You need consistency and brand loyalty. And like I said, people have to know what you have. If you have millions of people who actually have your service because they have access to HBO and they don't know to go to HBO exclusive stuff, that's a problem. Right now, you can have these gathering points where everybody knows about Justice League, everybody knows about Wonder Woman 84. But what about everything else that's on HBO? HBO Max has one of the best catalogs in streaming. And you need eyes on that contact, but you have a lot of people who think, well, I don't want to pay for HBO Max. I already have it. You already have it, and that's a problem. It needs to be rebranded so that people know the distinct differences between exclusive content on Warner Max versus what's on HBO and everything else.
No, I agree with that. No, I agree with that. And it's funny too, because we've seen shots that Zach has posted where it says property of Warner Max. And it's like, I even made a video. I'm like, are they going to end up rebranding this thing eventually? But there's been no discussion, no nothing. It's weird. It is pretty weird.
Well, wasn't Warner Max the name of the brand they had before it got consolidated straight up into HBO Max for another?
Is that what it was? That could be
yeah, there was an arm of the studio that was labeled Warner Max, and it was specifically made to. It was a studio made to make content for HBO Max, and I think Warner Max is, it's a nice title for a streaming service, but I think HBO Max, I think honestly what they should have done, they should have just consolidated HBO Go and HBO Now, just consolidated all of it into HBO Max. That's my personal opinion, but that's just
that's another option. You can't have all of these running alongside each other.
Right.
And they also need to communicate to their AT&T people who use AT&T as their internet service or their cell phone service. Don't they get an automatic subscription or something like that?
I have it that way.
Or alternatively,
but I bet a lot of their customer base doesn't know that because they just haven't gotten the word out.
Kind of fits how WP treats everything. Everything's fucked up.
Yeah.
I think alternatively also they could have maybe done
too many branches.
Yeah.
They could have done maybe a tier system like HBO Now $4.99, HBO All Access $7.99, HBO Max.
Yeah, because I mean when you think of HBO, I mean obviously you just hear HBO, you just HBO, but I mean it means home box office, and how relevant is that now? I mean that's huge now. It's like, it's literally like a movie is going to show up the day it's supposed to release in theaters. That's literally you're at home and you're providing the box office of that movie. And it just seems like it's more relevant now than it was when it first I still remember watching when the new movies would come out on Saturday night at 8 p.m. and it was like, I can watch Escape from LA. Yay. I wanted to watch this, and you get the opening, and it was a whole thing when I was a kid. Yeah, I'll miss
My
those.
biggest gripe with them still with HBO Max is like that.
Uh-oh. I think we lost you. We lost your audio there, Carrie.
Eric.
Yeah, your audio kind of cut out a little bit there, huh? Yeah. No, say it again.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're good.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
The fact that they don't broadcast the majority of their stuff in 4K and with Dolby Vision, I think that's a massive mistake. Like, I really think they need to have more of their options. Like, because Disney Plus at launch, everything was in like everything Star Wars, the MCU, their new shows, they were all in 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, all of that stuff. And the fact that like HBO Max is only putting like their movies with that capability, their new movies with that capability, I think that's a massive misstep. They need to go back and like retrofit and upgrade everything to like be streaming on that quality level.
By that same coin, I've also heard from people who have Disney Plus, they have watched like 4K copies of like they've done a comparison of a 4K copy on Disney Plus of say Avengers Endgame to a like Blu-ray copy. The Blu-ray copy is actually better looking. So despite the fact Disney Plus may have like all of it readily available, it may not really look that much better if you stream it. I don't know. I'm not that picky,
especially
when
on
it
a
comes
large
to my
screen.
quality. Yeah.
Might be the difference between physical media and streaming too. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
I was about to say like streaming's got to be a whole different. It's a whole different thing. But I wanted to get to also the Fan Fest, the IGN Fan Fest today with Snyder and Zack Snyder's just like holy shit. I mean, it was funny because usually on Saturdays it's like when I have a nice vodka stream and it's great and I'm like I can sleep in Saturday, my alarm goes off and I'm like, why the fuck did I woke up and I'm like, why is my alarm going off at 8:30? And then all of a sudden, why is this happening? Why did I do that? I was like pissed at myself for like, did I not turn something off? And then I went, oh shit, that's right, IGN Fan Fest. I got to get ready for that, But so I was, when I did my video, I was a little fuzzy. I think I mentioned that a little bit because last night was pretty, I had a combination of bourbon and vodka in that last night.
You get your Wendy's breakfast?
No, I actually, you know what I did? Gary? There's an IHOP down the street, and I heard they have new breakfast burritos. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try out the new breakfast burrito. And it was actually damn delicious. I went on the app, ordered it, and picked it up. And, it was pretty damn awesome. So that was my, like I always express is like, that's going to be, today is always like the cheat day for me. And it was fucking delicious. So I highly recommend. I'm plugging IHOP right now. They're not paying me, don't worry. But I'm just saying, their breakfast burrito, that classic breakfast burrito they have, pretty excellent.
Sauce.
Yeah. So
I love the code he spoke in, though.
What's that?
I love the code he spoke in.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to do it. It ends here, and we're probably not going to be this. It's probably not going to be that. That's like a hostage being held and then blinking the Morse code to you.
I think more to the point that they had a. I was just going to say. Go ahead, William. I'm sorry.
It comes down to he's basically saying, if this is successful and HBO comes and asks me for more, I'd give it to him.
Well, he was basically like, hey,
lowering expectations.
If they do, we'll see. And then he's just like, I haven't, he basically was just, what do they always say? He's playing coy. He's coy.
Right. It's interesting. It's interesting because IGN had a lot of questions centered around, did you leave it on the cliffhanger? Is there a cliffhanger? Like, what happens next? Like, did you have anything planned? And he's just like, I did, but.
I loved her reaction too. She was like, "What, Zach? Not a cliffhanger!" Like,
she did a really good job. Bradley, what did you think about today?
It was really cool. That video he posted was super awesome.
Oh my god, beautiful
video you made.
Mother Box Origins.
Mother Box video.
Yeah, the Mother Box video was pretty cool.
I want a toy that does that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I want that. I want all 6. I want to do that again for like the beginning of my streams or when I begin like gaming. Just have all 6 of the Justice League and how that. Oh man, that would be so rad.
That
would be great.
But
Do
I
you
just
think
don't want to
that'll
get
be
hit with
like
a copyright.
an opening or closing title sequence or something like that? Or
I think it might
Well,
be
I mean-
closing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was reminiscent of like what when you see
Aquaman.
the Avengers movies kind of had a similar like thing where it's like they had the statues all like I don't know which one. I think it was all Age of Ultron where they had something like that.
Yeah.
So it was like a similar style, but I mean so much better.
It was the first one or Age of Ultron. I don't remember.
I think it was Age of Ultron that did that.
Yeah. Age of Ultron was a statue. The first one was like just kind of going to different, like zooming in on different parts of their costumes and gadgets and stuff like that.
You know what this felt like? This felt like the kind of the end credit sequence of Aquaman, where they showcased almost all the characters and the underwater setting. It kind of felt like that, but through the guys in the mother boxes. I thought that was all rad.
Oh, that was great. What'd you think about it, Neil? Great stuff, huh?
I mean, dude, the artistic mind for that. That's like where I went right away when I saw it. I was like, holy shit. How do you even fucking come up with half of that stuff?
and then to put all those Easter eggs, yeah.
Oh my god, with Cyborg fused to the fucking if anybody ever, what was it?
Justice League Dark.
Justice League
Apocalypse
Dark.
War.
I love the DC universe, but I mean, like when they had him fused to the fucking wall and the way he was held, and then how Darkseid was using him like the whole time throughout that whole universe.
Yeah,
the source wall.
I love that. And then the way he shot that, oh my god,
that was awesome.
But, I mean, of course, Batman was my favorite section of that.
Oh yeah, like
you know which one was my favorite?
Huh?
I love the Flash. Let me
The
tell
Flash
you why.
was good. I mean, he had. I mean, that looked like a doomsday clock, almost like behind him, kind of like thing.
I think the clock. I also love that his lightning is blue, and also his father is played by, Billy Crudup. Dr. John Oster.
Didn't think about that. Wow.
I love that, and I kind of wonder, like, is that a nod to Doctor? Because his father is Doctor. It's just like. I love it,
man.
I hope so. I really hope so, because that'd be the dopest shit ever.
They both see time differently.
We're gonna say, Neil?
Hey,
yes. Like, all right, not to get everybody crazy, but like, say they did a series, and then that was like the opening for each different episode, kind of deal. Like they give you like
Game of Thrones does.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would be cool.
Kind of like Daredevil. You remember if anybody ever watched a Daredevil series?
Oh yeah,
kind of like that. That'd be sweet.
Good opening. But it is what I'm loving. What Snyder is doing right now. It's almost like he's just. Anytime he's like interviewed, and when people ask him about the future of like what is anything going to be leading to this, he puts it on Warner Brothers, and I love the fact that he's like, yeah, well, you know what? They don't want me to do this. There's this, that, and this. They haven't said anything.
They put it on HBO Max.
Put it on them.
Yeah,
it's so targeted. It's crazy.
Yeah. And you know the best part is, look, honestly, there is already Warner Brothers will have no excuse for the simple reason, like I mentioned before, Wonder Woman 1984 and the record opening, and what did it lead to? Immediately, Warner Brothers greenlit Wonder Woman 3. So now Justice League is going to have something that Wonder Woman 1984 didn't have, an international release. Everyone, nearly the entire world, is going to be able to see it on the 18th. It's going to have an opening, and I tell you right now, it is going to dominate even the numbers of Wonder Woman 84. Oh, yeah. And if Warner Brothers greenlit Wonder Woman 3 immediately after that record opening, they will have no excuse not to.
They had that greenlit before. They didn't greenlit that based on those numbers. They didn't just pull that out of their ass. They had that greenlit. They released the news that it was greenlit. They had that greenlit.
Which just underlines
you're on to something, William, because I think
which just underlines if that's the publicity, the publicity look of it was, well, it was successful, so we greenlight it, which is why just underlines the excuse. Like if the cat's already out of the bag thanks to the way they were painting it.
Not really, because here's why. No. One is results based and one is PR based. if Snyder's gets a continuation, it's going to be based on those raw numbers.
Yes.
What they did with Wonder Woman 84, part of that was because they probably promised everybody making that, Patty Jenkins and everybody else, we're going to greenlight your third one as long as you don't make a Nolan type fuss over making this second one and putting it on streaming.
No, I think you're onto something, William. I think what it kind of was, because I mean we all had our doubts when Patty Jenkins got Rogue Squadron. Like, okay, there's no way that Patty have time. But I think part of it was honestly like Wonder Woman 84 needed to be like that first movie to be dual released, and you saw how Patty Jenkins was like.
Yeah, exactly.
She was like,
when she negotiated. She's all, hey, if I'm gonna do this, you better give me the third one then. And they were like, okay. It does seem like it was a little quick, but I think possibly that was part of the negotiation tactic that maybe.
In other words, a case could be made that she was essentially doing what Zach is doing right now.
No, not at all.
Zach's honey dicking it.
Not to the degree that Zach is.
Yeah,
there's also but there's a parallel.
No, Zach's playing 4D chess, man.
Yeah, he is.
One of them is continuing with leverage. The other one is trying to get leverage. It's two different things. Because to be honest with you, I'm probably in the minority. I don't want to see another Patty Snyder Wonder Woman movie. To be honest with you, I think the further this character comes from the DNA that created this character, she was created to exist within this kind of universe, and now she's in the 80s wearing leg warmers, and it's all. And to be honest with you, the third one is going to take it just another step away from what Zack Snyder designed that character to be. So you know what? If Wonder Woman 3 don't happen, I'm okay.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna happen.
Isn't she doing Cleopatra and then Rogue Squadron?
Yeah. Regardless, all the numbers are there, and the stage has been set. It is going to get an international release. All we have to do is take advantage of that and watch. Spread the word. Have all our friends come in and watch. And the stage is set. Justice League 2 is inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually gonna play this clip right here. Like, I'm gonna share the screen that I just saw right here. Hold on, it's from the of course IGN, but it's like it's basically that question that got asked. I'm gonna bring it up right here from Jumble Beats. Thank you for posting that right now. But well, let's listen to this right here when Zach got asked this question, this very question right here. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right, here we go. Wait.
Zack Snyder, my question for you is: if HBO Max gives you money to do Justice League, what will you say? Thank you. Well, that's very
happy.
That I would say.
I just thought that was great. Show me the money. I mean, it's just I love his reaction when he goes, that's quite a hypothetical, because he's kind of going like, well, they haven't shown me shit yet. Yeah,
they will.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's gonna be, I mean, obviously we'll talk about the Superman reboot news that came about this week, and it's all just like there's so many things that are up in the air, and it's gonna be interesting to see, like, come Monday morning, March, what is it, 20th,
22nd,
whatever the hell it is. It's going to be interesting to like that week, the week after Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out. It's going to be interesting to see like what is going to fucking happen, because they're going to be looking at those numbers, the analytics and everything. Everybody's going to be like, what is happening? Everybody talking about it. It's going to be insane.
I wonder if some people you might see some changes, some job descriptions. I wonder if you might see someone like lose.
I
don't know. Consolidations happens. I don't know.
Look at
a few weeks ago, Chris Wong did his role playing of Kylar calling Toby no, Toby, no, shut up, Toby. You gotta listen, Toby. Here's what you're gonna do.
Now imagine the conversation between Toby and Walter Hamada.
Oh my God!
You have to say no, Walter. You have to say no, Walter. I don't care. You have to. And it's you know what? I'll get somebody else. I'll get somebody else.
At the end of the
apologize
do
to
this.
the
You do this.
Totally
Bring back
hypothetical.
Ray.
Totally hypothetical. Just throwing that out there.
Bradley,
All
what
that
do you have to say? You have something to say, Bradley?
No.
Oh, I thought I saw your hand go up or something like that. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got third party there. Hi, Bradley's
Oh
girlfriend.
my God, this bacteria is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love that idea. I love that, because after Justice League crushes at the opening in a way that dominates and breaks the record, even Wonder Woman 1984's record, they will have no excuse. Hamada will have no excuse. Certainly Emmerich will have no excuse.
money.
Exactly. Yeah. See, you got.
I don't think that's how to say it. I don't think
playing that violin for Hamada right there, right?
Well, no. At the end of the
I
day,
get it.
He's got to make
it's going to be
purely in the best interest of the company. Hamada,
these feelings now.
yeah, clearly in the best interest of the company. We can expect there is a good shot that in the best interest of the company, Hamada will be told by Kilar and Sarnoff to make a public apology to the people interviewed during the whole investigation. Basically eat out of Ray Fisher's hand. Because he will have, I don't know. It's not a given.
I mean, that's what we're hoping. We're hoping that Ray Fisher. I mean, obviously, we know that he's going to be. He's the heart of the story. Even heard Junkee XL thought, oh yeah, there's a 15-minute backstory on Cyborg that that's called Cyborg Story. Literally, that's what it's called, and it's just basically I mean, he explained it a montage of how you see it. But I mean, a montage. That's what. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This is gonna be this is I love the fact when he said whoever said less is more is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Zack Snyder doing a fucking montage of someone's origin story, he's we're not gonna do 3 minutes of going back to Vic Stone stuff. We're gonna do a 15-minute fucking we're gonna show his shit right here. And
isn't there supposed to be a scene or two with Karen Bryson,
yes.
You know what I
Vic Stone's mom?
Oh, in the mother box, that's when he goes into the system of something.
Or
yeah.
even
the father and the mother. That scene's gonna be fucking insane.
Oh, how familiar are you guys with the character of Cyborg? Just out of curiosity.
No, I'm not as big as I love to be.
Which version of the New 52?
New 52.
William's probably the most educated, all right? Because you comic book shop, you're.
I'm more familiar with the pre-52, but I am familiar enough with his current character right now.
Yeah.
I always love hearing and watching or reading about Marv Wolfman talk about how important of a character Cyborg was. Cyborg has always been a favorite character of mine. I'll admit, Cyborg has been one of my favorite characters since the Teen Titans animated show, but I've followed the character since then because of that. And even in reading some of the comics where he doesn't say booyah, that shit never bothered me. Yeah. I love the fact that he's an athlete even before the New 52 stuff, because that really does reinforce how much of his cybernetic enhancements does really disqualify him from doing stuff like that, because those enhancements would obviously give him a greater advantage in things like football, basketball, baseball, whatever,
Speaking of pre-New 52, I mean, most people, when they look at the fact that in this film and in the Snyderverse, Cyborg is part of the founding members of the Justice League. Well, that never happened in New 52. Actually, it did. You remember the series Super Friends, and then as the series
Galactic Guardians,
the last couple of seasons, he's part of the Justice
You have
League.
to have a drop for that. You have to have a drop for somebody bringing up the Super Friends. Marvin with the bell bottoms and the monkey. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Oh no! Where's the drop for that? You can't compare that.
Well, again,
hey, Casey
It has a
One
heritage.
powers activate.
My point is, there's a heritage. Like, whether you like it or not, it has a heritage. So he wasn't just using up for New 52, and thank God for that, because New 52 is like basically like said, screw Clark and Lois, let's do Superman and Wonder Woman for whatever reason. But no,
that for a little while.
Let's pair up Lois with Lex Luthor. Let's do that with New 52. Why not? And I'm like, no.
Yeah. I think
then they brought back Dan
Jurgens. Some extra soda can things in one of those episodes too. But wow, Super Friends, holy cow!
Oh yeah, I used to.
You know what?
I used to
To
watch it.
piggyback off of Eric for a second.
Oh, yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
go ahead, Carrie.
Well, when DC Rebirth happened, I was at Comic-Con that year when they were either Rebirth had just started or was coming. I think it maybe had just started. And I went to the Superman panel where Dan Jurgens was there with other people who were on the Superman books, and actually had the chance to ask them. I was like, so New 52, you guys got rid of the marriage and with Lois Lane, and barely even had them together at all, like not even as friends really in the comics, hardly at all, like during the whole New 52 run. But then Rebirth, not only is he married, they have a child together. Like, what changed? And Dan Jurgens had this awesome answer of like, you know what? The thing they lost sight of was like Lois was always part of Superman's life, essentially from the beginning, from the very first appearance, and she was there in Action Comics #1, and there was that romance, the on and off romance already. So he's like, since this is Rebirth, we're reinstituting that central part of his life. So when Dan Jurgens said that, I was like, this guy has his head on straight when it comes to Superman.
Jurgens is the best. And by the way, a few months ago, when Jurgens was again like expressing his he and Jerry Ordway, like the two of them together were the guys that gave us the Death and Return of Superman in the comics. And when both of them were once again expressing their support for Zack Snyder's Justice League, I then brought up, hey guys, I brought up to both of them on Twitter. Zack said that he was in talks about a possible Snyderverse in the comics. Would you guys be game to take part in that? And they both like my question.
Oh, so, I can imagine Dan Jurgens doing like a pseudo sequel follow up to like the Death and Return of Superman, but in like a Justice League-esque form. But
in the Snyderverse,
in the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
that'd be sauce. Jerry Ordway too.
Snyderverse Steel. The Snyderverse Steel.
Oh, speaking of the Snyderverse, I love that Zach said that in the IGN Fanfest. He straight up said the Snyderverse, and I was like,
yeah.
I was waiting for him to slip up. I was really waiting for him to slip up and drop something on a live stream because I think he knows something. And when he takes his time to answer these really, really tricky questions, he knows something. And listen, Jason Kilar is not a dummy. He's not a CEO of a major company for a reason. He's looking at this right now, and there's, like I've always said before on this radio stream, there's nothing in his toolbox right now that gives him the kind of numbers and penetration that just the talk of Justice League does. And beyond March 18th, March 22, you want to know how that's going to go? He's just going to be announcing projects. And I don't think Hamada or Emmerich are going to be affected, and so that they just won't have their hands on those type of characters. They will go on with their New Line stuff. They will go on with Shazam and versions of their characters going on. But the ones that will continue, the ones that we prefer, will go on HBO Max. There's nothing else. Right now, in any era, you could always name something that HBO had in their toolbox that says they have this 45% of this demographic. Whether it was Sopranos, whether it was Game of Thrones, they always had something in their toolbox. Right now, they don't. They have a bunch of loose stuff that doesn't combine the demographic, and this is what they have. Nothing else they have can build a demographic like this without even being aired. We haven't even aired the movie yet, but the talk about it has generated the type of buzz that they haven't been able to generate since Game of Thrones went off the air. They lost 45% of their 18 to 45 male demographic when Game of Thrones went off the air. What kind of demographic does Justice League fit in? Fits right in that same demographic.
Yeah.
Hold on, Eric. What Neil? What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I don't know why everybody's worried about the continuation. It's gonna happen, but at the end of the day, when you look at it from both sides, On our side, yeah, we're like, we need it, we want it, it has to come. But on the Oppo side, when you're looking at Hamada and all them, do you really think they're going to back it? You know, like when everybody loses their mind thinking that they're sabotaging it. Oh, they announced a Superman movie. Now Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. Everybody just needs to pump the brakes. Like, let the movie come out. And once that movie comes out, just like how everybody was almost worried about the marketing. Remember at one point, everybody's like, they're not marketing it. They're not backing it. Yo, Zack Snyder always has something in his pocket, in my mind, when I think about it. The guy is like, I call him Captain Honey Dick. He likes to honey dick everybody at the end of the day. Look at what he said on the IGN thing. He's like, well, I'd like to do it, but, you know, they haven't given me anything. So at the end of the day, everything, whenever it's like, oh, it hinges on Justice League, but don't worry about it. It's gonna come. They know it's gonna make a shit ton of money. You're not worried about worldwide. It's worldwide. As soon as they saw, right after that trailer drop, they went, oh wow, because everything for the Oppo side is, oh no, we have to wait and see, because they didn't back him back in the day. They're not gonna back him now. But they're going to get shoved up their ass at the end of the day, because they have no choice but to back it, because they need to make that money. And at the end of the day, it's about this.
It always is about that. And people in the chat too. I just want to make reference. I know I saw the donation. Are we really going to talk politics on this stream? We're kind of talking movies and nerdy stuff. I'm just saying. I know I saw the and
I didn't even see it. I'm sorry.
It's just
wow.
Hey, well, it's I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw it. Hidden Shadows did. He had a question for Eric, because Eric, I don't know. Do you want me to bring it up? I mean, but I really thought like this was going to just be like, hey, it's about movies and comic books and stuff like that. But of course, obviously, you know, I'm like, I'm not really, you know, it's just, I saw that and I'm like, and I see people talking about, hey, answer it. I'm like, we're talking about comic book and movies here. Why are we going to get political all of a sudden? You know,
ask Eric that question. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
no, we're talking about
political science, William.
That's the thing. It's like we're all just like getting into like all this stuff right here, and it's just like I saw that. I'm like, yeah. Obviously, I mean, we've said it before. You know, Eric, you know, you're conservative. This, you know, everybody has different beliefs and everything like that when it comes, but that's not what this stream is about, guys. It's about talking movies and nerdy shit. It's not about
segue to the Black Superman.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, and I'll just say this, like, guys, about politics. Look, about my whatever my politics happen to be, you all know it. But guys, like, it really saddened me last year when how people voted was certain people in the community were trying to use that as a jumping off point for let's excommunicate the people who don't vote the way I like, and that saddened me, because look, and I was like, guys, I hate to tell you this, but I have done more from the movement than any of you people ever did. And I'm not talking about you guys, obviously. I'm talking about the people who are trying to excommunicate like people on my side. And I was like, okay, and also we've just been talking about #UsUnited. As far as I'm concerned, there are people far on the opposite end of the spectrum who are self-proclaimed socialists who I have worked with and happy to work with for this community, because that is far more important to me. That's far more important to me than this.
All right.
Yeah. So let's not get to the politics of this thing.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, it's all about how we're doing when it comes to this stuff. I just wanted to make that point. And Hidden Shadows, you know, I saw that you made the donation, which I appreciate, but at the same time, I'm like, let's keep it to strictly that right now. We're not trying to like, hey, you know, let's try to get this guy. Let's not do that right now. Anyways, all right. Let's talk about it. Eric, how do you feel about Black Superman? Just kidding. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing. I am perfectly fine with an Elseworlds film about about Val-Zod. It's just I just don't like the writer himself. Like Ta-Nehisi Coates, I have not heard good things about him. Like his Black Panther run, his Cap run have yes, critics liked it, but readers didn't. They did.
I have to disagree there. I got a lot of readers that like that run. That's just from where I am right now. And his run on Captain, he's a very sought after writer as far as the way he tells stories. He has a cutting edge to him, but Frank Miller did in the 80s, in the early 80s.
Sure. I'm just like, look, I'll just say this, like, whether like people like it or not, he is controversial. And just look, if they had brought on, say, Christopher Priest to write the script, everyone would be for it because Christopher Priest is a legend. He's high quality. Right. He's a legend. Now it's just, but I will say this. I love what Ray Fisher said about it, what his tweet about the whole thing was.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Convenient. It was convenient. Everything was convenient. It's like, hey, you know, everything that's going on with, I mean, I even said it too. It was like, you know, when the marketing was going to be happening for Zack Snyder's Justice League, like, oh, don't think that Warner Brothers is going to try to do anything they can to just kind of like, hey, you know, it's not that big of a deal, guys. Look at the people involved, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and everything. And it's just like, and we're seeing it. And when Ray Fisher decided to come out and like say all this stuff, yeah, they're going to like throw all this stuff even at him. You know, it's just the tactics, yeah.
What I find interesting?
All business is convenient. All business is convenient.
Oh yeah.
So all due respect to Ray Fisher, this is business. And I can assail Warner Brothers for just about everything they've done in the last 3.5 years. This is a smart business move, and for a lot of reasons. And as far as the demographic that will come see this movie and will make it successful if it's made, most of the stuff that's going to be brought up about that, they're not even going to know about, or they're not even going to care about. They're going to see that iconic S, like I said before, on somebody that looks like them. And that's all that's going to matter at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
underlining stuff that we can talk about on here.
Yeah.
When you're talking about money, box office, that is not going to matter. When we were doing, we were working with the film companies to promote Black Panther. I'd done every comic book movie up to this point. We do our screenings and we have people, and we see the demographics that go in, and the percentage of people that are going into the superhero movies were the same percentage that represented the population, less than 12%. It will be me and a few other people. Now, obviously, we're in the genre because I'm sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
But when it got to the point where Black Panther got released, that demographic jumped. When we started doing our test screening for Black Panther, that demographic jumped to 61%. Same thing with Miles Morales and Spider-Man. Yeah. I couldn't give Spider-Man away as toilet paper for a good number of years. But in 2011, when they came out with that particular character, and when they started featuring that character in movies and everything else, you saw the numbers reflect that. That's all that matters here. It's business. Whether it's convenient or not is irrelevant. Whether it happens or not is.
I think the wording of everything, like the fact that it's reboot, and William, you've mentioned that too. It's not a fucking reboot.
It's not a reboot.
It's a new character. It's not a reboot. It's different. Yeah, it's another character that has donned the S on his chest. Okay, it's a completely different character, and you know we're now tapping into multiverse shit. And I love the fact that the Snyderverse is dead. It's like, why? I hate that. I hate multiverse.
It's a moot point. It's such a moot point because Birds of Prey builds off of Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. It's such a Wonder Woman 84. As much as people don't like it, it builds off of Wonder Woman. It's just such a moot point, dude.
It really is a multiverse. The problem is Warner Brothers doesn't know how to use the right terms. Like they don't know what reboot, sequel. They don't know what those words mean. They like to dance.
Neither do the trades, for that matter.
Yeah.
Neither do the trades. The trades are the worst job that Warner Brothers did.
We're literally
James Gunn is like unwilling to say that his Suicide Squad movie, whether it's in a follow-up when he's got a lot of the same cast members, or same thing with Birds of Prey, they're like, it's not a sequel, it's kind of a reboot, but it's a
I'm so tired of hearing that stuff. It's just funny too. It's like we're literally going to get the actual representation of the resurrection of Superman, and then also like this many weeks out, you're going to be like, "Hey, guess what? We got a reboot that's going to be coming with Superman." And then all of a sudden, but that was like the first articles that came out was Superman reboot in the works, and then all of a sudden, people started going like, "Well, it could be the Val Zod or the Calvin Ellis one." We're like trying to go Black Superman here, and it's like, okay, well then. Why are you fucking putting reboot? That's not even like, I don't know. It's all
No one will
It's
even
an ego thing. It's an ego thing. So the group of people who handle the reboot, now they take ownership of it. It's theirs now, and they don't have to have any responsibilities of what came before. They can say, I'm starting my own thing. But what you really can't, reboot really turns people off. One of the things that hurts comic book sales the last 35 years, and 1986 on, I can tell you nothing else has hurt comic book sales besides reboots, because you have people investing their time and their money and in these things. And now you're going to tell me that in my lifetime, since I've opened up, there's been 4 reboots. You have Zero Hour, you have Infantry, you have all these things. But when you're telling the guys that they invested their time and money into this, that their past, that they've spent that money is no longer relevant because I'm going to start over, they get disinterested. And when you tell somebody that, oh, we're going to reboot Superman, well, you know what? I spent since 2013 invested in the one I have now. How can I trust you with any Superman if you're just going to pull the rug from under me in another 3 or 4 years? I can't trust you as a fan or a consumer.
I mean, like Jim Lee, when he announced the whole thing, like he spelled out the multiverse. He even specifically said that Snyder fans will have like a place in the table. He said like he was laying out there was going to be a Snyderverse. There were going to be different universes for different people's interests. And how can they look at that and then say, oh, reboot?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Here's a question that I have for you guys. Do you think like Hamada and Emmerich, do you think they have a chip in their shoulder when it comes to Cavill? Like, do you think they have kind of a grudge against him?
I think Toby Emmerich just has a chip on his shoulder, period, because of this movie. Because think about it. He's the one who gave Jeff Johns the okay to give Joss Whedon the, hey, you want this guy to do Justice League? Okay, fine. Whatever. Because he's also not just dealing with Justice League and DC films. He's dealing with Warner Brothers Pictures as a whole. Could he really give a shit about DC continuity? No, probably not. Toby Emmerich's big end game at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Getting promoted. Yeah. So if this movie does well, I don't know this for sure. I have no connections whatsoever. But if this movie does well, does better than the movie he signed off on in 2017, I don't know. Could it be his ass? I don't know.
We can only hope.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. It might not. I don't know.
He's the last remake.
Does well, that's the last thing he wants. That's my view.
Oh, yeah.
Warner Brothers Kevin Ishihara too.
Warner Brothers does not want.
Oh, don't even get me started on Sujihara. That dude signed his contract to re-up and then was ousted not even a year later. Yeah. So for all those going, oh, Walter Hamada, he re-upped. Okay, that's nice. I don't care.
We'll say this: whatever our issues with J.J. Abrams, thank him for saying, hey, you want me in, get Sujihara out.
Makes people mad.
I like J.J. Abrams. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I know there's people that are. It's funny when I look at my timeline and I see like, oh yeah, J.J. Abrams. He, there's that classic meme where it shows the Grim Reaper, going from like door to door, and somebody put it like Star Trek, Star Wars, and I was going from DC.
I'm so happy you brought that up. I'm so happy you brought that up because you know what? Screw all those guys. Here's why.
Thank you.
The Grim Reaper was already doing the tap dance on Star Wars because of its own fandom choked the fucking life out of the franchise, and you couldn't get Star Wars on TV or Star Trek on TV for 12 years.
Yeah.
Right? Every time he goes to one of these franchises, ask yourself, when's the last time you heard of one of these franchises before J.J. Abrams was gone? The only person that was talking about Star Trek besides me is a guy that was 300 pounds fitting on the nice tight Captain Kirk shirt that didn't want to let go of 1967. So here comes J.J. Abrams. You wouldn't have any of the Star Trek that you have on TV right now if that movie doesn't do as well as it does.
And that movie
the Paramount Network does not want to touch toxic fans. They don't want to deal with it. It's a headache. It's a headache. They're like, why? I can make the same amount of money somewhere else. Why am I going to deal with these zombies and these terrorist type when it comes to fandom when I can deal with all the other stuff? But J.J. Abrams, they gave J.J. Abrams the right to do whatever you want. He cut that timeline and said, you're either on this boat with me or you can sink to the bottom. And guess what? Old Trek fan got on the boat. And now we have Star Trek Discovery. Now we have Picard. Now we have Strange New World. We would not have had that without J.J. Abrams. So he's a Grim Reaper. Great. Grab the cloak, grab the stick, and do your thing.
And I completely agree, and this may be a first, William, but I totally agree with you. Thank you for saying all that, and I say that as like I was a kid. Since I was a kid growing up, I was like one of the biggest Star Trek fans in the area where I grew up, and I was saddened by it. It looked like Star Trek was dead, and then J.J. Abrams came in and gave it new life. And I'll tell you right now, all the other kids my age who were snickering at me, oh, you a Trekkie and blah, blah, blah. What do you think? This is nothing. And then when JJ's first Star Trek film came out, those people saw that film, they came to me and apologized. Thank you, JJ. It is now cool to be a Star Trek fan again, thanks to you.
To circle back to Mission Impossible, all the Mission Impossible movies that we've coming back are more or less, they all rooted in Mission Impossible 3, which was JJ's film. So
here's the thing. The one thing we have experience to do,
Dave, I got a piece on that.
Oh, you gotta take off, Neil?
Get going, guys.
All right. Thank you, Neil. All right. Make sure, hey guys, he's got a YouTube channel, a regular Neil. It says it right there. Subscribe, do all that stuff.
Or what? Okay.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Neil. Take it easy.
Right? I'll be back again soon, guys. I gotta get out of here. I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's
right. Man.
Out.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, the thing that J.J. Abrams does is something that DC movies in general need to do. They need to make their world bigger, not smaller. Yes. We've got to stop telling it from the point of view of people who have their grip on their particular guy. William Shatner is 88 years old. We're not going to get another Captain Kirk like that again. Yes. Christopher Reeve, rest of soul, was a great Superman when I was a child. But the world is bigger and it's changed now. And we have to expand. The same type of Star Trek that I grew up with Next Generation is not going to fly with a 25-year-old now. And I think J.J. Abrams is perfect for this. And I trust the fact that it'll be good because, like I said, after that mess he went through with Star Wars, trust me, he put something in that contract that says, get out of my way. I'm going to take your money. I'm going to do what I want. Get out of my way.
Yep. And the fact that he hired, and the fact that he hired, of all people, to write his script for Star Wars 9, Chris Terrio, the two of them talked about what happened with Justice League.
They might have. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, look, JJ went through the ringer with episode 9. He was asked to be brought back following 7. After 7, he was like, no, I'm done. Their whole intent for the trilogy was to get a different filmmaker on each movie, myself on 7, Ryan on 8, and then Colin on 9. But then, of course, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher passed, and then Colin Trevorrow backed away because I don't blame Colin Trevorrow from backing away from 9 because if one of your main members of your cast who you wrote dialogue for, unfortunately, Ryan Coogler's in the same position that Colin Trevorrow was in now, but I applaud Ryan Coogler for going forward. No, I'm going to do something to honor Chadwick. I'm not saying that Colin backed away because he couldn't. I'm not saying that he couldn't honor Carrie Fisher, but that role, that all that pressure of Star Wars, I don't at all blame Colin Trevorrow for being I can't do this.
Yeah,
So JJ coming back being I can wrap this up. I can probably I can do this. These are my characters. I introduced them. I created them. I can wrap this up. And Kathleen Kennedy was probably well, can you probably throw in Palpatine? And he was probably yeah, sure.
Yeah. and then they had him cut it down, didn't they?
Bradley,
I don't know.
You had something to say right there. It seemed like you had something, like you were leaning.
No, I'm just laughing. That's hilarious.
Trying to get you. Some people in the chat are like, Bradley, talk. I think Flash has a crush on you, by the way.
For whether regardless of what you think of The Last Jedi, the narrative at that of the movies was starting to become kind of messy. So J.J. Abrams definitely was he stuck the landing for what he was dealt with. For sure. I think so, at least.
Yeah, and by the way, I was right. Yeah, this is in response, Bradley. By the way, when I said he has a crush on you, see. And
I think it's time for the Star Wars universe to move 1,000 years forward or backwards. To be honest with you, I think he was dealt with a hopeless situation because those characters are like fine china to Star Wars fans, and the problem is you really, like I was saying, it's like you go into your neighborhood and you see the same people all the time. That's not exciting. You're not making the world bigger. And I'm still dealing with characters that I saw as a 6-year-old in the movies, and now we're feeding these 63-year-olds basically for a trilogy. When you're trying to intermingle them with a younger generation of characters who completely got snuffed out of that movie. The young characters that they brought to carry that franchise forward completely got snuffed out by nostalgia.
Oh my god! I mean, like when it comes to John Boyega and Finn, I mean, they fucked his character up. I mean, he had so much potential, and it almost seemed like JJ was like, "Hey, I'm going to establish this." I mean, his lore was way better. I thought it was better than Rey's. I mean, come on, it was like, okay, Rey, yeah, cool. Like I'm totally all for like her, being the Jedi, but Finn, the fact that he was a stormtrooper. And all of a sudden, he just like goes, "This is fucked up. What am I doing?" And there's like even like that opening scene in Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Kylo Ren literally looks at him. They look at each other. I'm like, "Oh, Finn, something's going on with Finn." And then everything happened. And then all of a sudden, like, then all of a sudden, his path just got all jacked up in the rest of the movies. And I'm like, his lore was better than Rey's, man.
But it was different. It was a different way of telling the story than the old Star Trek fan was used to. And when they made that noise, now you went in a direction of the past instead of a story that could have had John Boyega as a force-sensitive person, which if you watch that first movie, he's definitely supposed to be that way. And he ends up being an Oscar Isaac's character was wasted. A whole bunch of other characters were wasted. I got a bunch of... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like what Stephen Colbert had to say in the chat. They back themselves in too many corners, and we're always going to have too many to wrap up in much of episode 9. I don't disagree, good sir. You are 100% correct in that. They had way too much to wrap up in episode 9 alone, and they tried to do it in 2 hours and 15 minutes. Like, what?
This guy sounds pretty awesome. I don't know who he is, but thank you, Stephen Colbert, for whoever you are.
I've heard of him. He's a nice guy.
I think so.
Does he have a late night show or something?
Yeah. I don't know. He apparently does something, and maybe he knows what he's
content.
Absolutely, maybe he knows what he's talking about.
A-OK prom content.
Yeah. But I think one thing that made this harder with Warner Brothers and Warner Media is the way they disseminate information. There doesn't seem to be anybody in control of how information comes out, and when the information comes out like it does, even if there wasn't anything sinister there, it looks like it is. Like I should not be cringing of an announcement of Zod being Superman like I am now, but because the way they disseminate information in their history, everybody's on guard. So when they hear about a new anything besides Cavill, even though nobody said anything about Cavill being replaced, but now that's the narrative. There's nothing in this thing that says that Cavill can't continue, or either on HBO Max or somewhere else,
or in like Shazam 2 or Black Adam 2 or Black Adam.
I mean, when you look at Cavill, it's like he was always stuck between the old saying and rock and the hard place. I mean, I guess you could say he was stuck between the rock and the hard place. Ha zing. No, but it's just like when it came to November 17th, 2019. Everybody came out with the support of Snyder Cut, and everybody was like, "Where's Cavill? Where's Cavill?" He didn't say anything, and it was just like, yeah, it kind of makes sense because he wants his new Superman movie, and there's like a struggle there. And then look what happens. He made up for it big time because he was there with the announcement of Zack Snyder. He literally told Zack, "Show them," and it was just like,
show them.
Yeah, and it was just like, okay, does that make up for being saying nothing on November 17th? Cool. And then it's like, okay, when we have this, we can still have more Cavill. We can hopefully have more Cavill, but maybe it's just going to be in this different universe. They can have this.
Can I drop a bit of an Easter egg on you guys? Here, okay. I'll say something and then I'll say my piece. Christopher McQuarrie once told me that Superman is the key, and to that end, I do agree. But I will also say that I think personally, the Flash is the key, and I think the Flash is the key because he is the key to the multiverse. And if you have the key to the multiverse, then you can portray all these characters in the way that they can live on for ways to come. I mean, for God's sakes, Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman from '89. Like. That is awesome. That is fantastic.
I thought Lois Lane was the key.
Okay, you have a point there, but also like the key to the multiverse is
whole collection
with
of
the
keys,
Flash.
brother.
she's a key to this next story, but the whole key, the big, huge master key, that's the Flash. You're absolutely correct. I mean, when Ezra Miller showed up, with Grant I almost said Morrison, Grant Gustin.
Man,
yeah.
I wanted that to happen so
I know,
bad.
yeah, I know. I didn't bring up.
I got spoiled. I
didn't mean to sprinkle salt on that little wound because I'm sure that script was fucking amazing. But we'll see what happens with the Muschiettis. But when Miller showed up with Grant Gustin, it was just like, okay, this is it. They kicked open a big, huge fucking door right here. We have a multiverse now, and there it is. I mean, the Flash was the key to all of that.
Yeah, very much.
I keep hearing some of these pundits that have, like I said, these million followers and all that say that they've moved on and that they're not going to do a conflicting universe. And I say that's bullshit because greed dictates everything. There is no way Jason Kilar or Stanky, who runs AT&T, is going to have a bag big enough to carry 2 piles of money and leave 1 pile on the table. If they can make money with HBO Max and still make money on the big screen, they're going to do it. All right, there's no way in hell you're going to tell an investor, oh, you know what? I don't want you to conflict with Cavill's Superman, so I don't want you to make what could be $1 billion big screen thing. So don't go. Screw that. No, I want everything.
Why would people say?
I want everything. I want it all.
They want all the money. They want all the money.
I don't understand why people would say the Snyderverse is dead when they have the Batman happening.
They've been saying that. They've been saying that for
right there. I know it's ridiculous.
Like
the Batman's happening.
Every time there's some news that comes out, either it's from a scooper or wherever the fuck, it's always like the DCU's dead or Snyderverse is dead. It's like every time that just always happens, and it's like, and it almost seems like it makes it stronger. I mean, it's like,
oh, good luck.
Yeah, it's like, oh, is it really dead? Well, why is it that everybody's hyped, to shit when they're like, then all of a sudden Zack Snyder will just like, hey, I'm going to drop this right here. And everybody goes, holy shit, look at that. Yeah. Look at that.
And look who's always backing him. Look who's always liking his stuff and backing him. The only person that matters is Kilar. Fuck everybody else. Everybody else can get up and leave the table. Everybody can leave the table. Walter Mott, nobody matters. And the line between the fans and Kilar is the only line that matters. If you get that guy happy and if he's liking tweets and doing all that, that's it. It really doesn't matter what Zack Snyder says, because who's going to be the one that puts all the money on the table for Zack Snyder and says in that hypothetical question if HBO Max can't call him, who's HBO Max? Jason Kilar.
Jason Kilar, right.
Yeah, Kilar, I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. But he's the guy with the money who can make it all happen.
They keep telling us we should move on. Some people do, but not us.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's what drives everything. It's like, when they keep on saying that it's over. And then even like Snyder, it's just like, yeah, you know what? Snyder, I love the fact that, after this, and then of course you got Army of the Dead that's going to be coming out too. And he's just like, then I'm going to shoot a small movie. And I'm like, good. You shoot the small movie that you're going to do. And take a break from fucking green screens and shit like that, and but then we'll see what happens, and maybe something is going to happen, and that's why I've always even brought up too is like, hey, if Justice League 2 happens and they actually do this time go, hey, we want to do a series, we want to have a weekly thing, and it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, Snyder can be the showrunner. He could be like, okay, yeah, you're going to use my blueprint, cool, but I don't have to be the guy.
Stone Court can produce it, and that's it.
Yes,
happen.
And in fact,
do you guys think that he could be like kind of a John Favreau, like where Favreau is overseeing, and then get all those other directors
Favreau and Filoni rolled into one.
Yeah,
I don't think I think he can be the creator, sort of that way. But I don't know if that guy wants that big a universe. But like I said, I think what should happen is Jim Lee and Zack Snyder and a couple other people should sit at a table and they generate what goes on for HBO Max.
Jim Lee would be the Dave Filoni to DC, yeah.
And apparently, I mean, this Stephen Colbert guy keeps on saying some good shit. I don't know. I mean, if they keep on pronouncing it, Snyder, it's clear not dead. I mean, that's a pretty good comment right there from this Colbert guy.
And agreed. In fact, considering, look, how long has been each season of Mandalorian? I mean,
8 episodes each.
Yes, 8 episodes each. And how long are each episodes? Like
about 30 to 40
minutes. 38 minutes average. 38 fucking minutes.
Because 45, give or take.
Yeah, 45 minutes, like maybe. And considering how the plan was to have Justice League as like 4-hour-long episodes, or because that's one of the options anyway. So, and I've talked about this before. What if we got an 8-episode series, an hour each? Well, you do that, you have Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 all as a one powerhouse of a season.
Yeah, I mean, like they can
cheaper too.
Yeah,
back to back, baby.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, even what Snyder said today is like Justice League 2. I mean, he even said like when and that's what I was so impressed by when it came to IGN. They didn't ask stupid questions. What's her name? What's her name that was hosting it?
Something Schwartz.
Yeah, I totally give her praise. Whoever, somebody bring up her name.
I feel really bad. I don't even remember her name.
I know. I'm totally drawing a blank too. But somebody in the chat, I know somebody in the chat will bring it up. She asked
Harry Schwartz.
Harry Schwartz. There you go. That's right. The Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you. I should have remembered because of that. Duh. Jeez. Probably because I'm like 4 beers in and possibly a little bit of bourbon for this. Anyways,
nice.
The fact of the matter is like. She asked really good questions, and the fact that when she asked about the continuation of the Snyderverse, he said like, oh, it was supposed to be 3 movies, and I remember like beforehand, like when I had which I still have my source, my guy, to Snyder. He always said like when it came to that, it was like they kept going back and forth. They're like, hey, can we cram all your ideas into one movie? Or no, we'll make it 2 movies. No, it's supposed to be a trilogy. What did Snyder say today? He was all, no, it was supposed to be 3. He just said flat out, it's supposed to be 3 movies. It's supposed to be a Justice League trilogy that he had in mind.
So then it goes MOS, BVS, Justice League 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, exactly. The 5 story. There it is. And the fact that he said the second one was going to take mainly in the Nightmare universe. I was like, thank you. What have I been saying, guys? I've been saying like, how do you not want to explore? When I went down, when I had 2-3 weekends ago, when I was like, I watched Fury Road and I watched Book of Eli, and I rewatched
Book of Eli after you mentioned it, and I was like, this is really good.
It's such a good movie, and of course, Fury Road's a masterpiece, and I'm like, the Wasteland,
almost won an Oscar.
Yeah, when the Wasteland post-apocalyptic world is, if you do it right, it's so fucking like, wow, look at this shit. To the fact that Snyder said, hey, let's create a timeline or something, a future where we're going to inject DC characters into this world. He had the balls to do that and show that. A lot of people were like, what the fuck am I watching when it came to BVS? Now they're all about it. They saw the Joker. They're like, holy shit, I want to see more of this apocalyptic world. How do you not throw money at that idea?
Because that hasn't been done at all.
Before.
Like comics right. Have comics ever touched on anything like that?
No.
Rock of Ages. But to that point, like if in a point like Darkseid, the character of Darkseid, if he were to invade Earth on a grand scale, no doubt, if he were to succumb Superman to the anti-life equation, there is no doubt in my mind that he would leave Earth in a desolate wasteland. And if Batman, being the genius tactician that he is, were to survive such a thing, he would indeed find the last of humanity in the form of the Flash, Cyborg, whatever, how would have you, and be like, yeah, this is not how this world ends. I'm going to stop you, and I will retrieve my friend's humanity. I will bring him back just like he brought me back. Booyah!
You know what's great about that? Sorry, William, I'll get to you in a minute. But just the thing that I love about the psyche of Batman in the Nightmare timeline, it's like he doesn't have to be Batman anymore. He could just be Bruce Wayne in a trench coat and just like, okay, I'll wear like a fucking, something over my face to cover the dust. No, he doesn't do that. Bruce Wayne is no longer existent. He goes, you know what? I'm full fucking Batman. I'm always going to be wearing this cowl. I don't give a shit. It's almost like Mandalorian status. Like, I'm not taking this fucking mask off for anyone in this world. This is
the way.
And I want to see that.
Exactly.
What were you going to say, William?
Each episode of Game of Thrones averages about 10 million an episode. All right. So even if you did 10 episodes, it still comes in at or cheaper than it would be if you greenlit a cinematic movie. You could literally greenlight and say, I'm going to give you the next 3 years of some sort of DC Snyder type content, and it would still be cheaper if you do the math than some of the movies. They spend $250-300 million if you include marketing on some of these movies. So if you look at it, you're cutting out the middleman. Your distribution, you cut that guy out, and you basically made something that has the same more resonance than a movie because you're talking about it every week. There are people that are sitting up at midnight with a WandaVision. They're talking about WandaVision every day for 8 months, talking about damn Baby Yoda for 8 weeks. And that's what generates that buzz. That drills that stamp into your head. That makes you their mental property. And like I said, if this goes on, there should be no Justice League 2 as far as a movie goes. It should not even be called. It should just be the story. It should be the Nightmare, Justice League Nightmare, and then whatever you want to go for the third
Nightmare.
arc.
That's a great subtitle.
Yeah,
you just want to keep going. And guess what? Whatever branches off from that, branches off from that. I'm getting Targaryens. Why the hell am I getting a 300-year-old Targaryen story from way before the relevant Game of Thrones? Guess what? Because that'll sell. So just imagine what kind of good stuff can branch off just from putting this in motion. Once you put this wagon in motion, the money's going to fall into it, man.
You know what I love about Zack Snyder's ability as a storyteller? I absolutely love that Zack Snyder has the ability to do with 3 movies, just in Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, now Zack Snyder's Justice League. He has the ability to do with 3 movies what Marvel has done with 22 in a TV series.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Gauntlet drop.
Right
Sorry.
there, my God.
Although I have hard fact.
I have loved the journey of the MCU, though. I'm going to say I love it, though. So
I love both. I absolutely love both. But on an internal level, Zack Snyder is my hero. He's my inspiration. But truth be told, the man has the same exact human fan power as the MCU. No joke.
Yeah. Here's a financial question as far as Justice League, the sequel goes, because the first movie, even when Zach was on it, the budget was always going to be high because isn't there some amount of money from previous Justice League attempts that's rolled into the budget?
I mean, look, you could argue that Justice League Mortal was probably folded into Justice. I doubt
that's
it.
What I assume.
I highly doubt it. But I will say that George Miller's Justice League Mortal is wild. I would have loved to seen that movie.
So
that movie sounds bonkers as fuck.
But with Justice League 2, wouldn't it be kind of a financial clean slate? It wouldn't have any kind of baggage from pre-existing. Yeah. So I mean, and that alone already sets it on in a better path than when Zach started with the first with his movie.
That's true,
right? I mean, am I wrong to think that or?
No, because you've already pretty much got the framework. You don't have to pay Chris Terrio or somebody to lay out the framework of something that you've already had. You're just basically now putting it into a framework that will work over a series. And like I said, it just gets people talking about you. I'm tired of hearing about WandaVision, and I like the show. But it's everybody comes to my door, oh, WandaVision. What? Yes, I watched it. Yes, I watched The Mandalorian. But now imagine it's something I've been waiting for 3 years, and you're going to put the biggest superhero IP in the world on something that's every week. You're going to put the top 3, the Holy Trinity. And then, even then, they're supporting characters. Guess what? There's going to be some unknown actor or character that somebody's going to look at on that HBO Max show and be like, I love that character. I want more of that character. We don't even know who it is right now. And guess what? That character is going to get a show. And you're constantly, and that's what DC doesn't have right now. They don't have positive, sustained buzz. All right? All their buzz is negative, and the perception is negative. Marvel is the majority of what Marvel does is a perception of what Marvel does. Marvel can make a bad movie, but they've got you into the game to where you don't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2.0 or you don't like Iron Man 2. Guess what? You've already bought into our overall thing. You have faith in our overall core that we can slip up. DC hasn't done that because they never backed their people enough to do that. If you had a bad DC movie, then you basically say, you know what? Let's go back to the drawing board and continue in what we're doing. But what they did is they pulled out. And when you give up on somebody, the people watching give up on that person and you just as quickly. So I think this would be good to have something every week to where it's positive. One way or another, half the people are going to hate it. There's people who hate half the episodes of Game of Thrones, but they watch next week. They watch for that TNA. They watch for that dragon burning them up. They watch for that beheading. They watch all this shit that people say, oh, I'm not going to watch that. They're full of shit. DC, HBO Max needs to call these people on their bluff and say, I dare you not to watch it.
All right.
And that's why I want Henry Cavill's Superman, whether it's in Justice League sequels or his own series, to continue on HBO Max. Because HBO, historically, they just know how to create content. Like, they just know how to create stuff. Whereas, the Warner Brothers, like, they sit on Superman for the span of like 10 years before they take a shot at anything.
Meanwhile, Greg Berlanti's like, here, let me just make Superman on TV and just show the world what I can do with Superman. Yeah. Mind you, everyone had a fit about the first 5 minutes. And look, I'm a huge fan of the Fleischer Show, so I kind of appreciated that opening sequence.
I thought it was great.
It was a good moment.
Fine. It was great.
The comic book collector and me loved it.
And but at the same time, like this is a character who's been around, just as longer than Spider-Man, obviously, but it has the same like fluidity as Spider-Man in terms of like expandability. Like, come on, it's Superman is to what Spider-Man is to DC is to what Spider-Man is to Marvel. As much as I love Batman, trust me, I got a Batman.
I know,
like
it's okay.
It's all right. Look, Batman's my favorite. I have a Batman tattoo, for God's sakes. Come on.
I know. Yeah, well, I was noticing that. I'm like, wow, he's got a Batman tattoo. Look at that.
But I sincerely think like the way you can expand characters and the way you can like put characters in front of a multitude of an audience, not just like one specific kind of audience. Superman and Spider-Man are that to the general audience, in my personal opinion.
Exactly. And honestly, like, look, Zach's Justice League sequels, like they are going to be making money, especially if it's done the way we've been talking. And Will, you brought up, this will be a brand cash cow. And on that note, does anyone here or talking here or in the chat, does anyone honestly believe that HBO Max is going to let the Snyderverse die?
That's what my point was. I mean, when it comes to like the Nightmare like universe, it's like it's something so fresh and different. It's heavy fucking metal to like hey, let's look at there's Batman with a fucking with an AK whatever it's like he's got
a trench coat, AK with a Joker card covered over it.
Yes, I would not be surprised. He's teaming up with like some of his worst enemies. He's teaming up with the Joker. His arch nemesis. He's
Deathstroke. I would not be surprised if after Zach's arc is done, we get a spin-off series which is just the Nightmare World. Just about
the point. That would be part. Yeah, I would love that.
Hell yeah! And we got that. We got a Martian Manhunter film or series. We'll get a future Batman with Baby Bruce Kent. All that.
You know what I'm personally hoping for? I hope to God after this, Ray Fisher gets his own like solo outing. That deserves to be explored more than anything, because that dude has given more life to that character in the last couple of years than I think anyone has ever. And that's no knock to honestly, Kerry Payton and any other Shermer Moore or anyone who's taken on the role before. Like Ray Fisher is Victor Stone through and through. He's been through like some real shit, and he's like come through even stronger. That man is inspiring, and I love it, hands down.
And on that note, Philip, suppose, considering how in the Snyderverse Dick Grayson is dead,
he's dead.
Suppose Victor went on to be the founder of the Snyderverse Titans, where he's the mentor, he's the boss. He goes on to do his group of the league. His subset of the league ran by him because in the absence of Dick Grayson.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that can be explored.
A lot of possibilities.
Yeah. It's like, and I love the fact that with the Mother Box Origins, thing that we saw, like what Snyder did with that Mother Box Origins. He's like, you know what? Fuck what everybody thinks about Dick Grayson being dead. I'm putting the fucking tombstone on that little montage. And he did. It was there. And I was like, fuck yeah, put that. It was missing awesome. At BBS. They removed it from BBS because they weren't sure what they wanted to do. And I know there was a struggle with that. But he put it on that thing. And you know what else he put on? I didn't realize when I did my video, because I was kind of like, wait, what is this right here with Wonder Woman? Oh, wait, it's the Crimean War, like, there was like a helmet.
I noticed that too. Yeah,
I didn't notice that at first. I was like, "Wait, what is that exactly?" I didn't. No, when I filmed my video, and then after I was like, oh shit, because somebody pointed it out. I'm like, so he made that canon. He was like,
yeah, right.
And
That's sauce.
Hey, Dave. Here's a real important thing too, is what we've seen so far isn't necessarily what has to happen going forward, because of the way the time travel situation works. Yeah. And another thing, Darkseid himself, no time travel is supposed to affect him. Under the traditional Darkseid, Apocalypse that exists outside the continuity. Remember, he watched the crisis happen from outside of that. So there's a lot you could do if you want. I'm not saying do this. If you wanted to bring a Dick Grayson back for a particular storyline, you could, because you have Cyborg and you have the Flash. Or if you wanted to introduce characters that are not even the Holy Trinity, because at some point you might want to pick up another character that's not Batman, Wonder Man, Superman, just to explore that and give a director the creative freedom to deal in something that no one's dealt with. There's a lot of Justice characters that haven't been on the big screen yet.
Exactly. And I've been thinking about exactly that. Why not bring Dick Grayson back from multiverse? I mean, I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, if we were to finally get a Snyderverse Flashpoint with Thomas Wayne, with Thomas Wayne and all that good stuff, how would that end? Look, I could foresee that sort of thing ending with Flash going around and doing some things in the multiverse, and basically, and I imagine he lands on a universe, on an Earth where Gotham is decimated, and Dick Grayson is alive, but he's lost everything. And Flash says, "Come with me," and brings him into the Snyderverse, and there he is, filling in the void.
Well, you could do each season that way. Each season could be a different reality and have a different ending. Like at the climax of a nightmare, okay, there was resolution is that reality is undone. But guess what? You've got another pile of steaming shit that Darkseid or somebody else left for you, and now a different group of people or the same people deal with that. And each season could have a theme. Even with Game of Thrones, like fighting the zombies and everything at the end of at season 8. But each one had a constant theme, but a different underlying theme. So there's a lot you could do with that.
I think if Zach were to come back, I think personally, not only did he mention Carrie Kelly earlier, I think in a past Vero post, he did. But also, I think on the whole, just as far as expanding the DC universe in his own way, as far as the Nightmare is concerned, I truly wonder who he would pick, because he did say he did redo that, maybe an ending, or maybe the secret cameo. There's a secret cameo. No. So I personally hope it's Orion. I might be wrong about it. I'm totally okay with being. I'm totally okay with being wrong about that.
What do you know, Dave? What do you know?
I'm not sure. Orion would be so perfect, because who is Orion? Orion is Darkseid's son, but he's on the side of good. So a son fighting his father in this arc where family has been.
It would be interesting.
That's not mind blowing for me though. That would be a great cameo. Don't get me wrong. That's not mind blowing though.
Well, a
fourth world nerd like me, a fourth world complete geek to the core like me, is gonna embrace all the fourth world characters you can give me. Mind blowing? No, I'm just trying to think. It's gonna be somebody that a geek like me knows, and that is transcended. I think it's gonna be somebody that the general fan would know, as well as the dork like me. Otherwise, it's not mind-blowing. Martian Manhunter's not mind-blowing. I know he's going to be there.
Well, we already know that.
Steel?
Yeah. So who would be mind-blowing, though? You know what I mean?
Steel, perhaps?
Steel? No, that would be mind-dissolving.
Black Canary, played by Journey Smallbell.
A lot of people are wondering, she was very excited when shit came out. It was kind of interesting,
She's mind blowing though.
Clip of Ben Affleck saying Black Canary should join the Justice League.
Exactly that
from 3 years ago.
Well, that's the thing. William. I don't know what would be mind blowing for someone who's you know the books. You own, or you work for this hi-fi center. Obviously.
But if I told you, a general audience though, if I told you Black Canary if you're watching this movie and you're not me, and Black Canary comes on the screen, your mind's not going to be blown. All right. If some of these characters it's going to have to be somebody. I'm thinking of somebody a lot bigger, and somebody that's universally known. Somebody who does not have to flip through the pages of a comic book is going to know. Wow, That's that fucker. That's
Like
who that is.
Like I said,
That's-
Sam Benjamin's gonna be like, "Look, I had this ring, guys. This all along. Check it
Jay
out."
Garrick?
Right?
Yeah.
I
Garrick,
could guess that it would be a Green. Nah, he wouldn't be. But the Green Lantern, you're when you're dealing with this type of movie, you're probably gonna stick with characters that, like I said, that are gonna bridge between geekdom and humans.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna know who it is. I'm gonna know who it is on a much deeper level, but the human, the non-geek, is gonna know who it is off of recognition. So I'm thinking some type of Green Lantern or some type of character. I don't think it's going to be an obscure character. I mean, what's going to blow my mind? Black Canary's not going to blow my mind.
He's gonna blow your mind by it's gonna be Dick Grayson as Red Hood. Watch.
That would be sauce.
That's not even blowing my mind in Titans.
See,
that's not even blowing. And that's nothing wrong with that. I like that show, but I mean, when you say mind blowing, I mean, after what we've seen just in the trailers alone, you're going to have to outdo those trailers and in 4 hours of movie.
Damian Wayne, hello, father.
If I honestly had a question for Zack Snyder, it would truly be how would you expand the DC universe going into JL 2 and 3? Like what other Justice League members would you use? Like Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Orion, Big Barda, Mr. Miracle. Like the Justice League roster doesn't just like
will it be?
Yeah, Blue Beetle, even though he's getting his
Booster
own
Gold.
movie, if that ever happens. But you have yeah. But here's the thing though. What they can do though is it does once they move beyond the Holy Trinity, if the story is gripping, hell, I'm looking at a goddamn raccoon in movies that I've gone and seen.
Yeah.
All right. If the narrative is there, if the core narrative is there, they'll be able to put whoever the fuck they want in those movies.
Oh,
You're going to be attracted to the story. I'm not attracted to Sir Davros from Game of Thrones, but I'm attracted to the overall story that's being told there. And if they get you on that train, they can put anybody they want in this TV show, especially if it's a TV show.
Always
so much potential. Bradley, you've been quiet. What do you think about all this, man?
I'm super excited, man. Like, I still can't believe we're getting this movie. I have to pinch myself sometimes.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to. I appreciate you, Bradley, because I love the fact, like with the Film Junkee live shows, you ask non-comic book questions. You ask like movie questions that are like off the cuff, because obviously most of the questions I get is always about the CBM shit, and I love the fact that you do that. And then I appreciate your question that you had last night for Junkee as well. Yeah. No, I just wanted to say that to you right now.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have a non-comic book topic? I mean, I go. I'll answer any question you have. I'll talk about it.
You know, I honestly feel really bad about asking that general question that I had for Junkee XL, because it was just like, what was it like?
Yeah, I know. I didn't get to your question, but it was kind of
good,
like,
man.
Yeah, but like, what was your question again? I forgot.
It was just something general that he ended up answering anyway. It
Exactly.
Was just like, how did he feel like bringing to life like Aquaman theme, Flash theme, Cyborg theme? What was it really like?
I mean, I had it like ready to go, but then that's right. I had also Darren, Mr. Laugh Now Cry Later. He also asked a question that also got already answered, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to that's why I only used Bradley's and Krypton Cage's question. So,
dude, that was so cool to have Krypton Cage on their meeting.
That was
essentially meeting his idol. That was really dope.
The fact of the matter is, like, I've talked to him many times. I really love Najid, and when he like hit me up and he was like, oh my God, you're gonna have him, and he goes, where can I submit my question, and blah blah blah. And I told him, I was like, hey, I know you're a fan. If I can, I'm gonna bring you on live, but submit your question anyways, just to do that. So that's why I was like, all right. He was like, when it came to that, I was like, I'll bring you in, because I wanted to bring somebody in that had, the knowledge of being a DJ and like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
I couldn't think of a question, but the only thing I could think of was like what, the drum circle that they recorded for Man of Steel. Like I would have wanted to ask a question like that. So, because I know he was like involved in conducting that and everything. So
yeah. Now, just a fascinating dude. And I just love the fact that he was just, because when it comes to like some of these, these big guests, it's like, okay, how are they going to be I mean, for the most part, everyone's been great. Everyone's been great. I mean, last week we had I had Fabian, and he's a little more. He's not as engaging. He's a little quieter, but that's fine. And I even talked to somebody who's like within the biz to go like cinematographers normally like that. Don't worry, they're not, a presence like that. But of course, when it comes to like a film composer, I mean, you watch like interviews with Junkee and Hans Zimmer, they're fucking joking around, they're busting each other's chops. It's pretty fantastic. Yeah, they're performers, and like, and Tom didn't disappoint at all. And like, as soon as he came on, and he was just like totally energetic. He had a drink and a cigarette. It was just like, all right,
his energy was
and then I wasn't, and I never know because the format is always like the guest, and then it's like, all right, as soon as I get done with the interview, it's like, okay, do you want to stick around for the questions? What's it gonna be? And he stuck around, and then it was funny too, because like I said, he stuck around longer than he was supposed to. Same with Snyder. When Snyder first showed up on the Vodka stream, I was like, I asked him like, how long you want to be on this? And he goes, oh, just like an hour. What did he do? He stayed a half an hour longer because
that's sauce.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way like these guys are just genuine. Like, they just want to, they don't want to, when Snyder goes on like, IGN or maybe even Grace, I mean, obviously I'll even do the drop if I can find it. Yeah. It's like, he's it's part of like marketing, and he's got to put on this like, hey, this is me, and I gotta like be like this because she is a higher, she's in a different tier than say me.
Media.
And the fact of the matter is like I've always like when it comes to the Vodka stream, it's like no pre fucking this, no that, no structure, no this. Just come on, let's just have a drink and relax and just have a conversation. And I think, I mean, Snyder. He's even said like he even said that he was like, that's what I like about your show. It's relaxed, and I'm like, thank you. That's what it is. And then I think Tom got that realization too. Is like, hey, we're just a couple of dudes just having a conversation. And then I brought in everybody else, and he was totally like all about it. He was like, hey, like you said, my beloved motherfuckers. I was like, great.
The Yeti.
I think what you're doing, Dave, and probably there's a few other people who are starting to do this too. Like you guys are really paving the way for a completely different approach to like these movie directors and creators and stuff like that, because like I'll listen to like Real Blend with Sean O'Connell and their podcast, and they ask great questions in their interviews, but in the Junket style it's so short, and there's on such like a really condensed schedule, whereas the fact that what you're doing is probably the longer form conversation and more relaxed is probably more appeal. I would assume, anyways, more appealing to a lot of people like Snyder and so on. I mean, I don't know if Nolan would ever do it, but like I would love to see.
Oh my god,
have a conversation with him that's like just free flowing.
Well, what I always try to do too is like, it's like, okay, let's not just talk about, the elephant in the room, which is like, okay, Junkee XL's coming on. Of course, it's like we have a million fucking questions about the score of Justice League. But I was like, no, I want to get to know Tom. Where did you start? I want to know your origin story. And I love the fact that it was like, we talked about Deadpool and what he like did with that. I love the fact that he was, he was on like a 28-hour workday, and he had to like fly to Australia with a fear of flying. By the way, did anybody know that Junkee XL had a fear of flying? No, now you do. And then he met with George Miller and said, hey, here's a 3.5-hour fucking cut of Mad Max Fury Road. Do what you can with that. And he had to fucking stay up even longer to fucking be like, okay, I have ideas, and then present it to George Miller. And George Miller just sat there quiet, listening to him for about 2-3 hours, and then went, you got the job. And it was just like those stories. It's like, yeah, you're not going to get that when he has to do press for like other Collider and fucking everybody else. You're not going to get that because he's going to be talking strictly about Justice League.
Right.
That's what I was like. Yeah.
And I'm curious, what non-DC questions would all of us here? What would we ask Zack Snyder that had nothing to do with DC or whatever?
Let's go. Okay, let's go around the horn. Let's Philip, what would you ask? Non-DC question to Snyder.
I would ask Zach, Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I've had too much to drink.
That's okay. I'm burping too. I'm burping like crazy.
I would ask Zach if he would be open to doing any kind of Star Wars, or what else he would be doing outside of like the King Arthurian legend. Outside of that, what else interests him as far as filmmaking goes? That's what I would personally ask him.
Cool. All right. Well, what about you, Eric? What would you ask him?
Well, for me, I would ask him what. Well, I would ask him what video games, what classic video game franchises would he love to make movies or shows out of, and what classic animes, because everyone's like pairing him up with some anime ideas. Like, what classic animes would he want to make movies out of? Like, I would love for him to do a live action Neon Genesis Evangelion series or movies franchise, but which is why I'm taking part of like Project Evangelion, but more to come on that. But like, and as far as video games, I personally would say BioShock. That would be my first thought as to what video games I would want him to do. But yeah, I would ask him, like, have you thought about doing video game movies, or have you thought about looking at these classic animes and like doing a franchise based on that? I mean, what other big franchises would you like to do?
Yeah, I think if anybody could, wrap flesh around an anime, Zack Snyder could do it, just like the Wachowskis did with the Matrix. I mean, they had such heavy inspiration, from animes. I mean, there's been side by sides. If you look at the Matrix and anime that they got inspired from, you'll see the side by side, and it's like, oh yeah, that they did that, but that was back in 1999. Can you imagine nowadays? I mean, and then with Zack Snyder just kind of ripping the fact that he could just like rip something out of like a comic book panel and put it on the screen and be like, holy shit, look at that beautiful shot right there. Like, how did he achieve that right there? I think when it comes to directors, Snyder could really just like, because when you watch like an anime, I'm not huge on it, but I'll take a dive into it. And there's just like there's a tone, there's a style to that it's like, how do you capture that in live action? Difficult as fuck. There's been plenty of directors that have tried, and there's been debacles like crazy. Dragon Ball Z, we're looking at you. Oh my God. I mean, Jesus Christ. But I think Snyder, if he were to approach that, and he is diving into anime territory with Jay Oliva, he is with Netflix, and I just kind of wonder if like he'll ever take the approach to like doing something live action. I'm like, you know what? Let's see if we could fucking capture that in live action. And I think he's the man to really do that. So
I'd like to see him do Star Wars.
Okay, so that's what you would ask, because we were going around the horn and going like, what would you ask Snyder? Like, what would you want to do non-comic book? So you want him to do Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, I'd want him to do Star Wars. I've always thought about this. Either Star Wars would be number one, and then I would like to see him do like a sorcery or a dragon sorcery type of thing. He's already done all the other stuff I've wanted to see him done. He's already done post-apocalyptic stuff. He's about to do a zombie movie. He's already covered he's damn sure covered the superhero genre. He's covered pretty much everything I would want to see. But Star Wars, I think he could tell Star Wars in a visionary way that hasn't been told before. And I think he would take the framework of the Star Wars story, not just Star Wars, but the Star Wars universe. So you take it somewhere where it hasn't gone before, with people it hasn't gone with before. And I think he could do a great job with that. And I think he could tell the type of tragic story that that you could use on it.
I'm just imagining like Snyder dealing with Jedis, and I'm like,
I would love to see him do Knights of the Old Republic and give him Darth Revan's arc. Have him
go back even further. Give him Exar Cotton. Give him Eula Quadrama. Give him go 4,000 years beyond, so that we're not even touching any of the current star. Give him a whole universe to play with, instead of, don't give him any retreads. Don't give him anybody else's childhood toys.
Yeah, no Skywalker.
Give him his own. Yeah, not one Skywalker. And if you're going to see the alien races, and back in the Knights of the Old Republic, there are Hutt Jedi. There are different species. We only see the ran down bums that are in the cantina and Bibford Kina, the Tweelies. We only see them. But if you go back and read some of the Vetch novels and some of the Knights of the Old Republic, all these species are part of the Jedi Order. There's 25,000 Jedi spread across the universe, and I would love to see Zack Snyder get a hold of that.
That'd be pretty awesome. What about you, William? Or not William, Bradley? What would you want to see Zack Snyder approach that's non-comic book?
I really want to see some alien movies. I really want to see alien movies for sure. That would be that'd be metal.
I mean, you know what? I mean, that might be in the future. Who knows? I mean, I think Grace even talked about it. I've talked about it, like, you know, before too. Is like, I heard that he had some kind of sci-fi movie script, you know, original. It wasn't like anything that's based off anything that he had in the works. And then Grace also said it recently, and I was like, oh, cool. Then he probably told her, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, but then at the same
alien time, as in aliens or alien?
I heard sci-fi. I heard sci-fi. Who knows?
Okay.
I mean, that's obviously a genre, and it doesn't mean it has to be aliens. But okay. I mean, when I hear sci-fi, I'm like, maybe it's got to have something to do with that. I don't know. Who knows? But then at the same time, I'm like, look at what Army of the Dead. I mean, it's going to be something crazy, and I would not be surprised if there's some kind of alien presence in that universe. And I'm like, please let there be. I mean, maybe it's an alien virus that is causing people to be zombies. Who knows?
You know, it would be interesting to see him redo an Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That would be
Ooh, there you go. Now you're
good. Especially what the original was. The original was like famously like a commentary on the whole Red Scare, the whole like, the fear of of communism in the world, and not knowing who you could trust. And give Zach that, it would be glorious.
Yeah, because he always has like these like layers, and you know, yeah, you're right. I mean, the layers that he could like put in that. Yeah,
there is one character that I forgot, and I know this is going to seem off. John Carpenter. I would like to see him make a John Carpenter movie. Not John Carpenter, but John Carter. I'm sorry, I got my John Carter.
I was like, yeah, I can see him doing.
I mean, Zack Snyder's Escape from New York. I don't know. That might be cool.
Would be fucking awesome, man.
That too, but I don't think there's been a good John Carter movie made. So
yeah, well, there's been like there was that one John Carter. Wait, John Carter, you're talking about like, didn't they do it? Didn't Disney?
It bombed. It was bad.
It bombed badly, yeah. But he could probably do justice to it, yeah.
But they had no visual. It has no visual aesthetics to it, and I think that's something Snyder could bring.
Yeah, they fucked that one up. What about you, Carrie? What do you think?
I mean, I was originally thinking I might ask him a question about Sucker Punch, but then I thought about this. And this goes back to, I think, a question I asked you earlier in the week. Is I would say, like, what is maybe a non-DC, like a creator-owned comic that you have read that you really like, that you would love to do? And I would, just because I wanted to show it to you because it came in the mail this week, I would say, want to work with the other Snyder, because he's got a book, this book coming out this week.
Right.
And this thing is huge. This was a part of Scott Snyder's Kickstarter campaign for this book. Look at this thing. This is the original. This thing is massive.
Yeah.
So and it's like a horror action series that Scott Snyder is doing. So I wonder if something like
Halo?
That would be up Snyder's alley. What's that?
How about Halo? I didn't.
Yeah,
Halo would be a movie that I can imagine him taking over and making in his own.
Oh.
Perfect Dark.
Who could play Master Chief for him? Who would he cast as Master Chief?
Who knows? So that's
someone unknown.
Are all the panels are the panels like black and white, or they're colored?
So what this is basically a special exclusive thing for the Kickstarter. So it's basically the first issue, but like on one page is Scott Snyder's script, on the other page is the black and white of Tony Daniels artwork of it, and then when the actual main issues come out in comic stores, I think starting next week, then it's gonna be like the regular comic size, full colored and everything like that. So, but this was more like Scott Snyder's way of saying, like, since for the people who back the project to like see the inside of the process of like, how it worked from adapting a script to draw the artist drawing it and everything like that. So
that's pretty awesome. I don't know. I think if we're gonna go to video games, I mean, I'm gonna, I played Perfect Dark. You guys played Perfect Dark? Anybody?
No.
What the fuck?
I was gonna say though, just before. I'm taking off, guys. I'm not really feeling well. I will catch you guys later. It was a lot of fun. Take
right,
it
man.
easy. Have a lot of fun. Thanks
All
again,
right.
Dave. This was a lot of fun. I'll catch you on the next fan stream.
No problem, man. Appreciate you
Take it
joining.
easy.
No, but like Perfect Dark, I don't know if you guys, that video game came out, you know, obviously when Nintendo 64 came out, you had 007, you had GoldenEye that came out, and that was like a huge hit. The same creators created Perfect Dark, which was like the same kind of style of like first perfect it was like a first person shooter, just like GoldenEye, but it was in the future. It had a female lead, and it was like you had to do all these missions, stuff like that. And that story arc, I could totally see if like Snyder was going to tackle a video game genre, because the way, I mean, we've seen how he handles like, you know, female like heroes or female leads. He does great job with them, even though like there's assholes out there that think he's like a fucking misogynist or something like that, which doesn't make sense. He just knows how to fucking yeah. But I think
just for that, give him
Perfect Dark.
And just for that, give him Bayonetta. So let's see how he does with Bayonetta. Just to piss people off, give him Bayonetta and have them scream it now, misogyny and so on. No, give him.
Another one that'd be cool would be Assassin's Creed if he were to be involved in that.
Yeah, I remember that movie came out. I was like, oh man, is this gonna be good? This is gonna be good, right? And it just, like the you know, some of the sequences were, you know, some of the, you know, the parkour and the, you know, the jumping and the running, and it kind of worked. And then but there's just a lot of things that just did not work.
I don't know how they.
Thunder was great, but you know, what can you do?
I don't know how they flipped. Because they flipped what got focused in the movie. Like when you play the games, you want to be in that historical period,
and they were like in the real world.
They de-emphasized that. They didn't focus on that at all for the movie. They spent so much time in the present. I'm like, that's what you're trying to get away from when you're playing the game.
That's the bad part. And then like the transition back and forth when they were trying to do this like elaborate thing, it was like, oh, we're gonna show him in the world, and then we're gonna show Michael Fassbender like climbing up the walls and being on the fucking, you know, and it was just like, that's not working, guys. That's really just show all the cool fucking shit in that world. Don't show what he's actually doing in the real world, please. It's maybe for a little bit you can show it, but you're showing way too much. All right.
Yeah, they're trying to tell a story using the video game storytelling technique instead of cinematic story technique. I think that's where most video games, movies fail, because you have the source material. But like I said, when you're designing a video game, you're putting guys like me and having them relate to what's going on around. When you're trying to do a movie, you're not necessarily always doing that. You're trying to tell a narrative and a story, and they don't always work. And it would probably take somebody like a Zack Snyder to be able to do that in a way where you're not just sitting watching a video game at home. You know, it's actually a movie. Movie's different than making a video game, even though they look a lot like each other.
Yeah, and I think just like, you know, Zach's like brain would just go, all right, you know, he's always about the why of everything. You know, he's said that many times. That's why when it comes to his superhero movies, that's why we're such fans, because he's always about the why. Why is Superman? Why is Batman? Why is Wonder Woman? He's always thinking about the why, and I think that's why, you know, that's his first question when he's approaching this stuff. So when it comes to like, if he were to approach a video game or, you know, some kind of, you know, even if he approached King Arthur, there would just be like a different kind of look at it. I mean, you know, the King Arthur that came out, that Guy Ritchie did, it was fine, but you know, for some reason, it just didn't feel like, it felt like there was, you know, studio was going, hey, we got to make something really cool and this, that, and this. And it's just like, it just didn't, there was some Guy Ritchie-isms in there, but it felt like a lot of the times you know, they were like, no, it's too Guy Ritchie and you got to do this, you got to do that.
That was a bad day at the office right there.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
That was a horrible movie. And from a great director, that was his Cloverfield. That for me, J.J. Abrams, I love J.J. Abrams, but for me, I got Cloverfield to remind me that no one is perfect. and that King Arthur movie was dreadful, man. That was really
well. And on that note, like with King Arthur, I mean, Zach has repeatedly said that Excalibur is like his favorite movie of all time, and it's like, and I'm just curious. With that in mind, I'm just very curious as to what he's planning on doing. In a way, like he said that it's going to be faithful to the Arthur mythos. But okay, but as far as you're concerned, Zach, Excalibur is like was your favorite movie. So it's like, what are you going to bring that is different from Excalibur?
But that's what's so great about Snyder is like, yeah, he'll keep the essence of the original movie, but he's gonna end up going like just the visuals. He's such a visual director. We're gonna see we're just gonna see some magnificent visuals and fight scenes and shit like that, where it's just like, oh, that's what you're going to add to this. You're going to bring this, you're going to update this. You're going to keep the core, like I said, the essence of the story, and it's going to be legit to the source. Cool. But look what you fucking added to it. Holy shit. I could screenshot so many things, and look at how fucking pretty that is. That's what's going to happen.
Do you get the sense that people are just, when Army of the Dead comes out, people are just not going to know how to like talk about the movie? Like, it's, hey, I mean, this was,
Probably.
you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, probably.
Well, they won't have a category to put it in, really. They won't. From what I can see of it, it looks like a very, very different zombie movie. I mean, it takes you in Vegas. I saw Dead Elvis, which is great.
Oh, I just got kicked out of that.
To connect it back for a second, like when Robert Kirkman, I remember hearing that when Robert Kirkman pitched The Walking Dead, at first they didn't like the idea of just a zombie story ongoing, but then he was like, okay, well, but the zombies are there because of aliens and because and like it's gonna lead into that, and then he never introduced the aliens, and so they're like, well, where are they? And he's like, well, I lied to you.
I'm telling you right now. I think
it'll be funny for Zach to do that.
There's gonna be some kind of alien. Something that is in this Army of the
Area
Dead.
51.
Yeah. Isn't that mentioned about it? There's like an Area 51. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is like an alien virus, something with aliens. I think that, and then maybe like this sci-fi movie that we were hearing about, it could be like a spin-off thing that was like, oh yeah, now I'm going to take it to this level. And with the prequel and the anime and everything, and I'm like, there's gonna be aliens involved in this fucking Army of the Dead universe. I guarantee you, and they're probably the cause of this whole thing.
Yeah. By the way,
all you need is radiation.
Yeah. By the way, that trailer, I got such a kick out of Elvis impersonator zombie.
Yeah,
that's
like why I put it in my thumbnail for my reaction. I thought that was like the perfect shot.
That's just so great.
And not even, it was a female too, a female alien. I mean, like,
yeah.
It's funny because you see so many Elvises walking around here in various states of their life. Yeah. So, like right down the street, you'll see washed up Elvis. Yes. You'll see the really slick Elvis that looks great. Like he's on his game. He's taking pictures. He's getting paid. And then you see the guy that just doesn't have it anymore. He's got the party. The hair's going away. He's got the sunglasses. Don't have the shine. He's fat. And then you just see like 6 or 7 Elvises on Sahara Avenue headed towards, to take pictures. And it's like, dude, you see end of the line Elvis, you see prime Elvis, and you have no business as being Elvis. And
now you see zombie Elvis.
Now you got dead Elvis.
I love that. Love that.
You just know, from that, when I saw that, I was like, it's
going to be good. It's going to be something special. People are going to talk about it. It's going to be insane. You got Junkee XL scoring it. It's going to be fantastic. And, I mean, it's so great. We have Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out. Then right after that, Godzilla vs. Kong. And then Mortal Kombat's coming out. And then Army of the Dead. I mean, we are getting fed well, folks. I'm sure. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man, because we done 2.5 hours. And
where's my other 2 hours? No. I want 4 hours, damn it. 4 hours and 4 minutes. 4 hours.
Guys, come on, guys. I need my rest.
You got to start planning your intermissions.
I know, right? Planning the intermissions with some Junkee XL that's got some stuff in it. But
hey, where's the plumber?
Huh? Yeah, don't mention the plumber. The fucking plumber.
Well,
Yeah, that guy.
I will say this, Dave. You were talking about how you have creators on who are willing to to stay on for like who knows how long the Vodka stream is going to be. It's like, I will say this, when we finally talk about my comic and all that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm here to the end of the line, to the end of the show. As far as I'm concerned,
it's fine.
Dave, pitch next time you talk to Zach. Pitch him a story about a band of like murdering plumbers or something like that.
Porn. Pitch him a porn about plumbers. What we would have seen after your
How do you
show.
feel about plumbers, Zach? I mean, I had a run in with a plumber. He probably laughed his ass off about that. I should probably flip that out.
I want to see Zach do a musical. I want to see because that is the least Zack Snyder thing you could imagine Zack Snyder do it.
That would be interesting.
Junkee.
You know what would be cool too? Dinosaurs.
Talking dinosaurs.
Yeah, let's
before
time,
like
Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost. Zack Snyder.
Okay, with Chaka. Yeah, remember Chaka? Oh my goodness. There was so much wrong with that show.
Yeah.
I was want to sit Marty Krofft's drug hallucinations.
See, a lot of people, I love the fact that like people in the chat are like, Zack Snyder's this, Zack Snyder's that, and they're like, so many ideas. And I mean, anything that
suggested extreme volleyball.
Yeah, extreme volleyball. I mean, come on. I mean, anything that he would like approach, we know it's gonna have layers, it's gonna have, of course, visuals. I mean, my God. The guy do anything. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys joining me as per usual. You know, you guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting, with the Patreon and everything. And thank you to Philip, who showed up earlier. Hopefully he feels better. I know he said he wasn't feeling good, so he left. But thank you, William. Hopefully I'll visit you soon. Hopefully I'll be in the same, area as you as one of these days. Carrie, you're awesome. Thank you for all the questions and everything. And then, of course, Eric, thank you for joining as well. And Bradley, too. You know what? I actually made a mistake. I said Flash had a question. It was actually Luke in the chat. For some reason, he was like, Bradley, I love you. He was like saying that. So Luke, Flash, I'm sorry that I said that was you, even though you agreed to it, but it was actually Luke that was like, oh my God, Bradley. Just saying.
I love you too, Bradley.
And hi, Bradley's girlfriend, right there too. Yeah. Thank you for joining too and seeing like your arm and your hair also in there.
She should have taken over for him when Bradley ducked out for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Whoa.
My spot, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess. I mean,
all right. Finally. We have a lady on the fan screen.
That's very true.
Oh yeah, it has been though.
I know. Sadly, I mean, it's just the way it is.
How many times are we?
How
many times is this going to be a sausage fest before people start wondering? Like, come on,
hey,
bring us
you know what? I mean, I have like 46 people in the Patreon. There are always a couple of females, but they don't show up. It's like, what can they say? I try to be, hey, I'm an equal opportunity, live streamer.
What does that
Anybody's
say?
Welcome. Everybody's welcome, but it's just the fact of the matter is when I look at my analytics, it's mainly dudes.
Well, yeah, keep talking about doing it. Like, hey, do the dollars, do the dollar tier and all dance on stage or something.
Yeah, I know that whole thing. Yeah, that whole shtick.
Yeah.
No, but I appreciate you guys, coming in. And like I said, I love doing this once a month and talking to you guys. So we'll talk soon. And everybody in the chat, thank you for joining as per usual. And
I would be excited to do the next stream the weekend after Justice League comes out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's all about just what's happening, and everything. So, but hopefully, the next time we do this, yes, Zack Snyder's Justice League will be out. So we'll be talking about that. Think about that, guys. Next time we're gonna do this fan stream is gonna be in March, and it's gonna be after Zack Snyder's Justice League come out. So there's gonna be a lot. That one might go 5 hours.
I don't know if my brain's ready for it when it comes out. Like, it's still so surreal and like
I know it is.
20,
I can't even
days away.
Yeah, it's all
and I'm proud to say that I was able to secure March 18th as one of my days off that week.
There you go. Keep it. Yeah. Make sure you do that, man.
Come on out, Dave. I got your spot here, man. Come on. Go watch that on the small screen, man.
That's right. I know. Well, I'm
friends
hoping.
Don't let friends do that.
Yeah. Like I said, I've cozied up to Zach. Hopefully I could see it like maybe in his movie theater or something like that. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, I appreciate you guys and appreciate everybody in the live chat who joined and have a good Saturday night. We'll talk to you later.
Hey.